and you really want to put your head above the parapet and be involved in this tour, as people at the Really Woke Show meetup that I'd only just met, literally only just met, and they said, oh, look, you know, don't know how things are fixed with work, but I could probably get a few days in September, actually. Not sure if it's at the start, middle, or end, but if I contact closer to the time, even if we get a hire car, we follow the camper. This is what people are telling me at the Really Woke Show meetup. And I'm going, wow, I don't even know you. And you're just going, no, that's fine. I mean, if there's anything we can do, even if we turn up there and we're just, I don't know, looking after the banners, or I don't know. And if we're there and we happen to talk, and that's great, but we just want to be a part of it. And I'm going, this is the silent majority I'm speaking to. When have I seen you in the chat rooms? Oh, I don't do chat rooms. How many times did that come out yesterday? Don't do chat rooms. I'm not in that. No, I don't sign in to YouTube. And it's like, really? Until you have these conversations, I can't vouch for them because they're not there. I know the views are there to a certain extent, but these people are now coming out and really anonymity-wise going, I'm here. So
I think we need to at least give the link to the next stream, because
Jason of the Disbury family has just popped a link into the chat room. If you would all help yourselves and click that link, you're more than welcome to leave us and go to the next part of the Tour-A-Thon, the Megathon Tour-A-Thon, the Make Earth Great Again Tour-A-Thon. Oh, I like that. Make Earth Great Again. Shall we make Earth great again? Shall we? Together. Make it. Make it mega. Let's make Earth great again and get this truth around this censorship issues. We all know we're being heavily censored, and we all know we're having to find alternative ways to get around this, which is why we're on the street. You can be a part of this, whether you're there in person or not. I implore you to do so. Click over to the next stream. If you haven't gone and checked out the GoFundMe, it's www.gofundme.com/f/globe-lie-euro-tour-2009. It's on the screen right now with Adam Meakin's profile picture there underneath us from Iron Rail Media. Thank you so much to Doc Martin. Thank you so much to all of you that have taken the time to tune in to us. I've greatly appreciated you being here with us. And I personally, for a long time, haven't seen that many live viewers. So the fact that there's so many of you watching, no matter how many of you that have participated in the chat room, I thank each and every one of you for being here, whether it's in the chat room or just watching from the sidelines. You're all just as important as each other. And thank you for being here as part of the silent majority as well, because we do exist. Just because we haven't ticked the boxes we were given doesn't mean that we're not a self-evident truth. We're here. It's happening.
Well, thanks all, and hope to catch up with you guys later.
Yay! All right, my darlings, click that link that Jason put in, and we shall all see you soon. Bye.
Get some.
Adios.
Bye.
And I think that's us.
Did you want to hang up the call and restart? What was it? Oh, sound. Well, apparently we're on. Well done, guys. Apparently, Eric's saying he's the black shirt guy, but not you, Jason. Everyone's saying they can only hear me, Jason. Oh, okay. Sure, sure. Just so everyone knows who's actually here, is Dee Dee's actually not feeling too good. So we've had to make last minute changes. This is why Jason is now taken on the stream. Just so everyone's up to speed with why we are at this particular position. I'm Ralma saying maybe they have to stream for you. Use hand signs.
So testing. Can you speak as well?
This is Gary John coming through on the live stream with Jason.
Okay, now stop. At 1 2 1 2 1 2. I think we're up and running. Guys, can you hear us? And I think you can now. I've added another audio stream to it, so hopefully they can hear me. But we need someone to say so, guys. Let us know. Can you hear us? Adam says
Adam,
yes.
yes.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Honestly,
there in the end.
guys, it's like I am a Microsoft certified professional, and but I just don't know this software. It's just nonsense the way it would separate our mics. That's Skype. If it can hear you, it should drag my voice in exactly the same as yours instead of splitting the channel. You know, but anyway, we're on. So, and then what we're going to do is in 20 minutes we're going to add, 10 minutes we will be adding Howard George Stirrup. He'll be joining us. And then we'll have to mess about with this mic probably. So let's not go through that again. Okay, so we're on the final 2 or 3 hours of this Globali 24-hour relay that Ranty's what's it come up with, Ranty Flat Earth. So thank you very much, Ranty. You've caused me so much work, but it's been well worth it. I've just jumped in the shower. I'm on my third wind. I had, so I was falling asleep again before. Sorry, Roxanne. I was getting really tired, so I quickly jumped in the shower to cool, to restart this third wind. And come 8 o'clock when we're finished, I'm going to bed. I'll be going to bed, and because I've got a long I'm back at work tomorrow. But it's been a fantastic weekend, and thank you very much for all of you who have been supporting the Globali Euro Relay Tour. You've got to think of the extra names now that we've put into it. We're not just here for the Globali. We've also we're promoting two conventions. Have you called is yours a convention or a conference? What was yours?
It's a convention. What's Robin calling the UK one?
A convention, yeah.
Yeah, we're the convention as well. Is that, I was talking to last year. It started off that we were going to call it a conference.
Yeah.
And it basically it's all down to actually wording, isn't it, on how people take the word. But we actually, in the end, we actually agreed that convention is just nicer, really, and it actually seems to fit what we were trying to do.
Low key. Whereas for me, conference would put your ties and suits on, and that's a conference. That's what it felt for me. A little bit more stiff, business like.
Yeah, I think one seems to be a bit more, you're going there to learn something, and the other one is you're going to go there and be interactive. And last year we definitely had, like with the open mic, and we obviously had the debate with the physicists. So it was a bit of interaction, but I don't know. It's all different people have got different interpretations of what they think it should be called, but we just prefer convention.
Yeah, good. So when I have this idea that we're going to once the UK tour starts, that we'll be promoting both conventions, and but once we've managed to get through the UK, then all we're doing then is we're promoting like crazy this Amsterdam convention, and I'm envisaging the fact that as we pass through France, Spain, Portugal and Spain, and making our way up towards Amsterdam, that will be reaching out to an awful lot of people and saying, look guys, you need to, there's a convention there, it's in Amsterdam, it's in this side of the pond, and you need to be going. Let's fill it up. Let's fill it up. I mean, how many people can sit into that? How many people can go into that convention?
In total, including the actual the organisers and the speakers and the help.
Yeah.
A total of 260 people, and it's almost like a lecture hall type, like a theatre style,
yes.
Where all the seats roll up. So basically everyone who's sitting there will get a decent view. So instead of everyone being on the same level, which we had last year in Birmingham, it's a really nice arena, I must admit. It's actually above. It's actually part of the library in Amsterdam, and it's just a nice setting.
Yeah.
Right next to it.
So why the convention? Why? Why did you do the last one, the UK one? What for? Why do we have to have conventions?
It's a good question. It all started off because of Jaron, actually. I don't know, about 2 years ago, I happened to be listening to him, I think on his Monday night show. He was talking about that he was checking his emails, and one of the questions asked him, is he going to the convention in July? At that time, I didn't actually know what convention it was on, and he basically said that he wasn't going. So I literally went on the internet to find out what was happening and found nothing. But what I did come across is there was a guy, Eric Heslinger, in Europe, Amsterdam, I think, not Amsterdam, but the Netherlands, was putting on different conventions or conferences or whatever he wants to call them in Europe, and that included London. So I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind going to London. And I clicked on the link and there was nothing there. So I contacted him to find out what was happening. And he put it, it's almost like he was doing it as a landing page to find out if there was interest in London, and he would need to like partner up with somebody to help do that, the UK side. So I obviously was clearly interested because I thought, well, I wouldn't mind going to a convention, but if there isn't one in the UK, the best way to do it is maybe link up with somebody like France, sorry.
Yeah.
And after a period of a week, I was back and forth in discussions with him. I actually arranged to go to somewhere near Utrecht to actually go to one of these all-encompassing conferences, which wasn't just about flat Earth. It's a load of subjects, like New Age type and different ways of thinking. But in talking to him over the next week, I actually found that his model that he wanted to promote wasn't necessarily driven on flat Earth, and it wasn't also driven on. I'm not saying what he was and what he wasn't doing, but I think the value for money that we were trying, what we've eventually moved on to, is more the what I would like to promote. So it basically started off life as being an idea that indirectly came from Jaron. I then got in touch with Franz, Karen from the Sun and Moon Group, gave me the facility on her channel to actually, I've discussed with the likes of Leslie Dave and Martin Lico and a load of other people to say, Mark Sargent, and I connected to a lot of people through Karen and found out if there was interest in the UK or for the UK convention, which at the time was a conference, and the answer came back yes. So that's how it started, really.
Yeah, good. When you were doing the UK one, I was just starting as within Flat Earth, and I was my first introduction to meeting new people was to go to the campsites and that. And I'm not naming no names now, but whilst and you may have heard about it, whilst I was going to the campsite and that, I was hearing stories that. It's not a good thing to go to the conventions, like it was almost like they're on a par with the Flat Earth Society or something, like it's not a good thing. And I was getting this, this second-hand information from people with no reason whatsoever on why you shouldn't go to this convention. And I was almost, I talked about it, I was in agreement, and I was almost going to, take my banners and, stand outside your convention. Honestly, God's honest, I was going to stand out, I even, drawed up a mock-up picture on where it would be. It was the Jury Inn or something, wasn't it?
The Jury's Inn, yeah.
Jury's Inn. And I made this mock-up, and I was going to put my banner right outside to show people, look, forget about what's going on indoors, you need to be looking at this, and then let's talk to us. Not knowing anything about you, not knowing anything about the convention or who people were in there. And what I didn't realise is that you had like people like yourself in there. Ian Leahy was in there. Robin was in there. These are people that I really look up to now. And yeah, I was misinformed, and this is why I've got this problem with I call them the gatekeepers that steer newcomers into their narrative, what they want, how you should think in flat Earth. That bugs the hell out of me now, because I'm nearly 50. I've gone through my entire life of realizing that I've been lied to on so many different levels, from my education and my culture, and but so many different levels, probably even religion, was it the creator or creators or whatever. I don't know what to believe no more. And then to be, I come into flat Earth, and then I've been steered right at the beginning and of this narrative, and I was of the feeling of being dead set against conventions. I was, as I said, I was going to be campaigning right outside, and so I see people now. I've heard stories that at this next convention that there may be a few trolls outside, or is it campaigning against it. I heard stories about that, and if that's the case, I actually understand them. They've been led in a narrative. They've been, there's probably a spokesperson in that group, a gatekeeper, as I say, and feeding them all disinformation. That's what I got, and it was just narrow-minded people that that don't want to explore what is happening in these conventions, and it's much more than just learning new things about flat Earth. It's about the association with people who actually think the same as you.
What I'd like to say on that, Jason, is there's two areas that I think that covers. Is that they can be where you were misinformed, and I actually know the group you're talking about. It's up to you if you mention them.
No, I don't. I'm not.
No. I'm saying if you want to mention them, you can. But I know the group exactly the one you're talking about, and I've actually come across quite a few people that have now left, and they've, for whatever reason, they've left. And bottom line is, they were, I don't know if manipulated or whatever, but like you said, that you were like set up in such a way that you felt that it was a bad thing that we were doing.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if you just spent 10 minutes speaking to Dee and I and a few other people that actually went to the convention, we actually had a blast. And like Adam Meakin was there, and Martin Leaker, and Ian Leahy was there, and I could give you a whole raft of names.
And I wasn't. Yeah.
But the thing is, there's two things, isn't it? Is it that some of these people are part of the gatekeeping system, that they're deliberately put there to create disharmony, or are they just misinformed? But somebody would have to have done that in the first place. Because I actually went to see my very first Flat Earth meet, and I actually met allegedly Dave, and I was in the bar and I was in awe of him because I've seen him on the internet, and I thought, wow, Dave, and you're famous. He said, well, am I? And that was my first time coming across Dave, and since then we've become friends through Flat Earth. And I was suggesting that because Patricia Steer was coming over to the UK, she would like to join the group, and I was told immediately, no, she's a shill.
Yes.
But I was just going to say this about Patricia. I think it's a shame that she's had to leave because of what's happened, because she's been basically forced out, and the people that have forced her out, are they just misinformed, or is it part of their agenda? And if it is an agenda, that's really bad, because I believe in choice. And like Dee and I put on a convention in Amsterdam. There's one obviously with Robin in the UK. People have a choice. Some people may go to both. Some people won't go to any. But choice is everything. Yeah. And some people are trying to. I wouldn't say to you, Jason, you shouldn't do that. And if you came to me and you said you were struggling with something, I said, well, have you considered this? Because clearly the way you're doing it isn't working.
Yeah.
Because you've reached out to ask the question. But why should somebody decide for me what I should be thinking? Yeah. We already get that with the mainstream system, don't we?
That's right. It was a big problem for me. I created the festart.co.uk and started putting some links in there, and it caused quite a few problems with the communities that I've belonged to. He's a shill, she's a shill, he's a shill. And I'm sorry, I don't have. Maybe I'm naive, and I don't buy into it. I haven't come across anyone that has done any damage. All I see is that these people that are all called shills and that they're doing such good work. You know, like, and the reason that I can go out and talk to someone at the moment, it's getting easier and easier, is because it's out there in the mainstream. You know, like, I'm such an advocate. I want people to throw away this shill nonsense and gatekeeper nonsense and all that, and just concentrate on what good work is being done. You know, like, we're winning this. We are winning. We're moving forward. You know, like, we're all on this train together, and we're shouting really loud. This tour, for instance, this is gonna it's gonna hit over 1 million eyes, and over 1 million people will be talking about this. You know, like, at some fashion. They're not all gonna instantly become flat earthers, but that's a seed that's planted in their minds for the next interaction that they have with someone like yourselves. You know, like, that's what this is about.
Well, what I'm thinking, though, Jason, and we've had this discussion before, that after you leave the UK and you then head down to south of Europe, you know, Spain, Portugal, and France, you will be able to, over that 2-week period, or when I say you, whoever's on the bus, you're going to be at home to help fund the thing. And I think it's amazing what you've done, actually. The commitment you've put in is not only in time, but the actual financial commitment you've put into this. I know you're going to end up with the vehicle at the end, but you don't know what state that vehicle's going to be in. You don't know what it's got to do. No. But in between the UK and getting to Amsterdam, you're going to be talking to people about flat Earth and about conspiracy theories and, you know, what's happening. But you'll be able to say, we have just literally a few days ago just finished a convention in England. In 10 days' time, we've got another one happening in Amsterdam, and then we're going to carry on with the rest of the tour. It's really going to add a lot of, like, additional weight on top of what you've already said to these people.
Yes, definitely.
And I can't believe also that we're now finally knocking on the door of it happening, because of all the back and forths, all the meetings that took place. It's now weeks away. It's less than weeks. I mean, is it still starting at the end of the month?
Yes, it is, and I kick myself, because we've had an awful lot of meetings and discussions about, you know, like, how to on both of the conventions and the Global. I don't think people realise the amount of hours, days, weeks that we've put into this. You know,
but the thing is, though, one of the things that frustrated me in the past, I don't know if I get frustrated with it now, because I just basically think these people are ignorant, is when you put in a lot of time and money, and you have to keep changing the program because things change, and all you ever get from some people is, oh, you're just in it for making the money. I've actually been called a CUNT from people because I'm ripping people off, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like them to see my bank account to see how much I'm ripping people off, because all I see is funds going out, and I know for a fact that's exactly what you're finding.
Yeah.
So, but it's a hard undertaking, isn't it? It's not something for the light-hearted, because putting on a convention or putting on a tour is a huge undertaking, and to be attacked for it along the way is a little bit depressing, really.
Hurtful, yes, it is depressing. I'm fairly lucky, you know, like, I'm quick to, the second that I hear that someone's there's a channel and maybe badmouth me in such a way, I unsubscribe immediately, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to get involved in it, and I'll move on. So I feel like that, yeah, they can say what they want about me now. If there's someone out there doing that such a thing, I don't really get to hear about it. You know, like, I'm moving on. I've in the mindset now. I know what. I feel as though that I've come to the conclusion. I know where my place is. You know, in this flat Earth, this globalized. I know my place, and I'm comfortable with my place in it. My place is purely, literally, to bring people to the debate, to the argument, to the table. That is my place. I know I'm not going to convince anybody out there on the streets. You know, like, I'm just planting seeds and hopefully bring them to the table. And there's much better people out here that can, like Globusters and Nathan Oakley's channel and all that. There's much better people there that can hopefully re-educate people and tell them a little bit further what they've been like Fake in Space, Paul on the Plane. How awesome is that? Is that not educational or what? You know, like to know that everything that you've been shown about space, and he's pulled it to bits, and you can confidently say after you've seen that body of work on Vacant Space, you know, that you're comfortable. You can look someone directly in the eye and say, "It's not what you think, mate. That's all rubbish." You know, like you can comfortably do that. Yeah, I know my place. I'm just bringing people to the table. That's it. Yeah.
I think I've got to be honest, though, Jason. The thing about the European tour is I'm intrigued about how it's going to go, because it's so huge. Because I mean, I know that you're talking about money for the actual fuel for it, and obviously along the way you're going to have a service, because if you've got like a vehicle that's, I mean, I don't know how many miles you're going to have it on by the time you actually start the tour, but it's going to go from almost 0 to 15,000 miles over a 3 month period.
Well,
I doubt the service is going to be 18,000, so you're going to be needing a service along the way, aren't you? And you need to obviously allocate the time for that service.
Quite possibly, but it's got a service due Thursday. You know, like, so when Thursday gets here, it'll have a service, and because it's got a lighting issue. My headlamps aren't coming on correctly. The full beam works, the parking lights work, but just the main dip beam, that doesn't come on. We know what the problem is, and so we've got a mechanic. He's fixing that Thursday along with the service, and so hopefully, you're right. It may somewhere along the line. I mean, we're talking 14,000 miles, but continuous use. I think as long as that they keep keep it topped up with oil, and I think what I'll have to do is get a printout of 1 to 10 steps on how to look after this vehicle whilst you're driving. But hopefully, I mean, like, it's common sense to a lot of people, and that, but never take it for granted.
The way I'm thinking, though, that it's evolved into, you're going to do the UK and Roxanne's going to take over into Europe because you need to carry on working to fund.
Oh, I'm so gutted. If I could have walked away from a job and carried on, and we had enough money, we would have just hired the vehicle. You know, like the vehicle was, it was going to cost between £5,000 and £6,000 to hire a motorhome for that length of time. To get one that it wasn't going to break down. We could have got one for about 4,000, but it was of the same age as like we got last time, and I was a bit concerned about that. So it just seemed the most obvious, like the money wasn't coming in quick enough. Like you with your conventions, you're a little bit worried about your convention. I was so having a panic attack that it's not going to happen. I can't see this coming together. To take away that burden of finding that extra £6,000, that's gone now. That's moved away. Like, we've got a lesser amount to find, much more swallowable amount, if that's a word. So it's going to happen now. I'm quite comfortable. I've seen some of the figures of what we're doing. Let's have a quick peek as well. Let's while we're here.
You got like the latest figure of what's been achieved over the last 24 hours?
I'm just having a quick peek now. So on my channel is up to on my GoFundMe is up to 15,000. It's 15,000. 1,500. Yeah, 15,000. 192 pounds. Oh, fantastic! Absolutely. But Andrew Brogden has just put £100 in. Thank you very much, Andrew. And Jim McCutcheon has just done £20. Karen Endicott has just done £20. Thank you very, very much. Let's have a quick look at Pulling the Planes GoFundMe is at $663, which is what's that, $1,326 because he's going to be doubling that. He is. So well done, Paul. I feel almost guilty. I keep mentioning that, and sorry, Paul, if it. And then we've got Globalist's GoFundMe. Just refresh that page. Is he just had a little increase. $1,115. Well done.
Is this happened over the last 21 hours? Is it?
Yeah. Well, it really is. I mean, like, as I say, it really wasn't doing very well. I think I was up to about 400, I think it was, before it's, so yeah, like 1,000 has almost come in from every channel. And
I guess, Jason, you don't need this money before the convention, before the tour, but if the money is still rolling in, so basically you're doing live feeds and you're doing like shout outs to people in different countries.
Yes and no.
Money hopefully will still trickle through along the way.
Yes, but we do need a very large amount to get started because of, number one, obviously the wrapping and stickers and all that. Number two, I've missed the opportunity of getting all my ferries half price, because when we announced the tour, because when it's so far ago, you pay in advance and that, they were half as cheap they were. So now that we're kind of doing it last minute now, buying the ferries, they've almost doubled now, just under doubled. That's a bit of a shame, that is, because we've missed an opportunity there. But the ferries still need to be paid for before we go. Otherwise there'll be some detours. I don't think the Sweden, Finland, Denmark ferries need to be done just yet. I think at the moment we just need to do the Isle of Wight and Ireland ferries. The other ferries can come after we can raise that money, as long as we've got about 3 or 4 weeks to raise that money again for them ferries. So but yeah, there's just a few initial costs, like making sure that I've got plenty of oil in there, making sure that we've got some food on board to start off with. There's little things, but you're right, we don't need a large amount of this can be raised en route. And that's what happened last time. I mean, like, people were just giving £20 there and £100 here, and someone came up to the van and said, I think he had £230 and said, there you go. Right in the van, he come round for a visit, didn't know, we thought he just wanted to chat and that, about flat Earth and that, and he just pulled out this wad of money, and wow, you just don't.
You know where it's coming from. I believe Adam Meakin's put in quite a bit. And talk about Adam, he's actually replied to somebody who is actually saying in the chat that they thought that Robin had actually bought the vehicle, and that's not the case, is it? It's you.
Yeah,
you're taking on the finance. You've shelled out for it. So again, that's not my baby; it's your baby. But bottom line is, you're the one who's actually done all this.
Yeah. Well, like yourself, you've taken on your burdens. Like with your convention. Robin's he's gone above and beyond trying to get his convention off the ground, and it's going okay, but it's still scary times for everyone, isn't it? But it's I'm fingers crossed. I'm so praying that it'll all work itself out in the wash. I think it will. But we just need to advertise. I mean, the amount of people that were in Roxanne and Dave's chat just a minute ago, 175 people, and 175 of you go and get tickets. That's it. Conventions are done. Everyone's a winner. 175 tickets. That'll make you sleep tonight, wouldn't it?
I'm looking at it now. It says 60 watching now, but I was watching it last night with Martin Leaker. Yeah. I can't remember if it's 400 or 440, but I thought that was quite an incredible number. He's obviously built up, his channel is really, because I remember when I met him, this isn't the first time I met him, but what I mean is that when he came to the convention prep in January of last year, I think around about the same time, he was really pleased that he actually went to 5,000 subscribers. Around about the same time, I think. I may be a little bit wrong on that, on the timing. But I remember him actually announcing that he was really pleased with 5,000. Yeah. And I'm not 100% what it is now, but it's a lot bigger than that. It's now grown quite significantly larger. So he's obviously building something, and to get 400 odd people watching this today is quite. I mean, I don't know what Globalist do. I know they get huge numbers.
No, that's right. But
it's a big number.
Well, I was looking at. I was talking to Paul on the plane. Was it yesterday? This morning? I don't know. But maybe today. But I was talking to Paul and noticed how many. He's got quite a big subscribers base. He is being shadow banned. If anyone knows what shadow banning is, I mean, you only have to go see his numbers. He's getting very poor views. He's got great content, and his subscriber base just doesn't show what his viewers are doing. You know, like it's very poor stats. He's definitely being blocked. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. I'm just going to quickly see about.
I was trying to find one of the channels last night, and I didn't want to go through your mirroring. I actually wanted to go direct to their site. I think it's Paul McLean,
Right.
and I had to go back into my PC 3 times to locate him, and I'm subscribed to him. So if I can't get straight onto a channel then people that are actually not, it's not going to come up in their feed if they're actually, because this is what YouTube are doing, aren't they? They're just literally just scamming us already. And I had a link sent to me the other day about how Google and like Facebook and how they control what they give you. And the reason why a lot of people are indoctrinated is because I wouldn't say they've allowed it because they don't know they've been indoctrinated, but the system just stinks. And that's why obviously what we're doing is because we're trying to say, hold a minute, there's more to this.
Yes. I think I'm not sure who said it. Was it Walter in I'm Real Media? He said he said on one of the streams, he said we're right over the target now. And I think that's what it is. We're making enough noise now that it's the right time to start shadow banning us and start manipulating the internet, and they're manipulating the links, the tags. We've seen it with I don't know if you put that that bit of software that you can put on your Chrome, and you can see all the tags and things, and see the tags for flat Earth and meta tags, and you can't. You put in flat Earth and it doesn't. No information shows about it whatsoever. You put in Apple, get loads of meta information all about Apple. Put in banana, loads of meta information. Put in cow, loads of meta information. Put in flat Earth, zero. They are so messing with us now with the censorship. I think that speaks volumes, and I think even though Globalist, some of the trolls that are on here, they can see that, they know that's happening, and that's all fishy. They must see that. They can't be that blind.
Isn't it interesting though? Like last night, I think it was on Adam's. No, not Adam's. I'm Real Media. I think that there were people coming in. I'm not 100% certain if it was on Globalist actually, but I think there were people that are like Red Rhetoric and a few other Globalists that are actually putting a little bit of donation in. But no, right? Have I got that right?
Well, I actually thought someone was playing games, and because it seemed like, oh, that's a fun thing to do. But Ranty's of the opinion, unless he's playing games, so he's of the opinion that was genuine. That I think they all come from his channel, and it genuinely happened. How awesome if that happened! I don't know. I'm really confused, and about that, and. I thought it was Adam playing tricks.
I must admit, he actually said to me earlier that he wanted to spoof spam Roxanne, I think, and Dave earlier. I don't quite know what he was aiming to do, but I just think he's funny.
Yeah, that's right.
And apparently, Martin Leaker needs one more person to get to 28,000. So it's just a little hint, guys. So
he's going to do that.
It's on 28,000 plus in the next 10 minutes.
Subscribe.
And likes and stuff. We've got 56 watching, and we've got 24 likes and 5 dislikes. So I think it's the black shirt. That's what it is. They don't like my shirt.
No. I don't care about.
Or is it your flowery shirt that they don't like? I don't know. I just wanted to ask you actually, how have you found the last 21 and a half or almost 22 hours? Because you've been involved in a lot of this, and you must be partly buzzing and partly shattered.
I'm surprisingly quite awake at the moment now. As I say, just before we started, I quickly jumped in the shower. I thought, I was on my knees just before I jumped in the shower. I was, feeling a little bit wobbly, and I'm on my third wind. I'm feeling quite okay. I'm up for it. It's not far to go. We've got to see it through to 8 hours. 8 hours till 8 o'clock. For the 24 hours. So yeah, I have been. If anyone else wants to join the stream, we've got 3 hours to go. 2 hours to go, I believe.
2 hours 10.
Yeah, 2 hours 10, is it? You know, like, so yeah, I've got, I'd say, Howard George Stirrup has he's changed his name, was he, on this? Howard Geocentric George Stirrup. So he's changed his name on that. Let's see if we can add him again. And come on, Howard, get yourself in there.
I have to say, Martin's not 28,000 now, so I'm going to keep an eye on this for the rest of the day and see if it like be a little bit more than 28. But he's done it. So anyway, Martin, I like San Miguel or Peroni or any lot, any beer. So I'm owed.
I don't care, Martin. You can just buy me whatever drink that you want.
So unless he actually tells me I've got this wrong, it was 5,000 in January 2018. So that's what, 17 months. He's gone up 20,000 subs. That's quite a significant increase. So well done, Martin.
Yeah. As you can see, I've been having awful trouble with Skype. We need an audio check from you, Howard. Just say hello.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Sounds good. Can you hear that? Okay.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. I'll just get myself a drink. 1 second.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, while he's doing that, Jason, obviously, one, I would like to say thank you so much for having me on, even though it was meant to be Dee and I, but we've obviously had to change things because of, she's not feeling too good. Well done for what you've done, not only over this last 22 hours, but everything you're doing with the tour, because with doing the convention last year and doing the convention this year with Dee, and obviously working with Robin and Roxanne and everyone, and you, I know it's just an immense project, and I don't mean immense as in, wow, it's immense, it's fantastic. I'm on about immense as in it's a massive undertaking. And it's not just financial, it's time as well. And obviously you're not married, and obviously sometimes you must probably have like words with your wife about how much time you're putting into this. And I just think that it's not a question of like pat on the back, but it's just a question of I'm saying well done to you, because what you've done, and obviously with Harry last year, and he's like I noticed when you were saying last night about he's welcome all the time, come on it. He's a top guy, and I just think that what he started and what you then took on, and obviously now you're working with other people like Robin and Roxanne and everyone. And Charlotte, it's just wonderful, and working with like people like Adam Meakin and I'm Media and Globusters and David Weiss and whatever. There's some really, really good people out there and put on the plane, and we need to work with them and maybe not worry so much about the people that just want to throw stones, because they're not really adding anything, are they really?
No, that's right. Harry, he envisaged that we would, amongst our travels, that we would come across like-minded people that want to make a difference, that would kind of follow in his footsteps. That maybe me coming from being very, terribly scared about getting out there and doing some activism, up to a point where I was kind of, feeling really terribly sick, before I would go out and do it, and getting over that barrier. Harry envisaged, that so many more people would get out there on the streets, and it really hasn't happened quick enough. I don't want to be doing this forever. I want to see 100, 1,000 people behind me, or in all the towns up and down the country. It can't be just me. It can't be just you. It can't be just Howard. We need so many more people to make a difference. This has to be the next step. People need to be inspired to want to make a difference, and one day we can go into a school and we can talk to teachers, about what they believe in and not be ridiculed. That's what I want. That's what Harry wants. He wants the next generation of people to come out and then inspire others. Yeah. So anyway, are you going to leave us now, Gary? Are you going to?
What I'll do, I just wanted, the last thing I really wanted to say, and sorry, is this Harry?
This is Howard. Howard, this is Gary.
I just want to say, nice to meet you, Howard. I've got to be honest, I haven't come across you, but I've heard, in looking at the chat, I've heard some good things about you. So the two things I want to do before I go is, one, I'd like to say hi, and I'm going to listen in and see what you're about, and I'm looking forward to that. And the last thing is, Just to remind everyone that we have got tickets still available in Amsterdam. Obviously, if you're in the UK and you can get to Robin's and Charlotte's event in Kidderminster, that would be fantastic, and I'd like to meet you there. But basically, you know, with the tour as well, I just think there's a lot happening in the next 2 months, and you know, all we can do is build it and hope they come.
Yes. Yeah.
But thanks so much for having us on, Jason, and I'm going to listen into you guys and for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, and enjoy it.
All right then, buddy. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
But once again, thank you very much, and nice to meet you, Howard.
Nice to meet you too, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, buddy. You right there, buddy? All right,
Yeah. If I can apologise to everybody for the nudity, it's so hot here. I'm sweating as it is that I daren't put any top on. I'll suffer even more.
I'm just trying to work out why you've now taken the full screen, and let me just see if I can figure out what window.
Don't want that.
It's just I've been trying to. No, that's okay. You know, I'll put me there. No, I won't. I'll tell you what. I'll put me there. Look at that. I've covered you up. Does that work? You know. All right. Okay.
Appreciate this opportunity. Thank you very much. I think we can all add something to this puzzle. We can all add something to, you know, like, we've all got our own style, we've all got our own points of view, and we can all help get the message across to different types of people.
Yes. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what you're going to be doing in the next weeks, months, and that, and your season for Benidorm. What is your season? When does it finish, Benidorm? You know, like for the season.
It doesn't. It's Stag and Hen do holiday town, so it's busy all year round.
Wow, you know. So I mean, like you're going to be joining the tour at some point. What did you say? What dates did you say?
I'm definitely going to come to Valencia, because that's on my doorstep, and I'm either going to come to Barcelona or to Gibraltar as well. I'm not sure. You never know. I might make a hat trick.
Yeah. Okay. And
it is, to anyone out there that hasn't had a taste already, it's addictive. It's so addictive. Once you go out there and wake up some strangers to start waking up, because none of us are woke. We're all waking up. There's layers, you know, or degrees.
Yes.
So we're all waking up, and that's beautiful. And it's really beautiful when you wake up a stranger and you make a new friend. And especially if you can get it on film like we do, and you show other people, and then you get messages that other people are waking up thanks to the work that you're doing. It's beautiful. It's addictive, and it's a good addiction. I recommend everyone out there that hasn't tried it already, give it a shot. It gets easier and easier.
Yeah, definitely. I must admit, with the first time, can you remember your first time out? You know, was it because my first time out, it was awful. I was so scared. I really was. What was yours like?
It was. I mean, I don't like the sound of my voice anyway, but I said all the time. I was nervous, repetitive. I was, you know, the timing was bad. But you know, practice makes perfect. And there are days that I'm thinking, you know what, I'm not going to record today because I'm not really feeling it. I mostly record when I'm really pumped, prepared. Like I'm going to do it and make it look easy, because that's the thing. We got to make this look cool.
Yeah.
We got to make it look easy. We got to inspire others, like Harry's inspired us to pick up the torch, you know, and carry this on. Like you guys were just saying, I made a few little notes so that I don't just blabber on about nothing. And my first point is where you guys left off. I'm pretty sure I can speak for you, Jason, when I say this, and a lot of other people. We truly do appreciate all of the subscribers, the comments, the shares, the likes. we even appreciate the negative comments because they bump our posts, especially on Facebook, or they inspire us to research and improve our arguments.
Yes.
But I think I can speak for you, for Roxanne, for Robin, for a lot of people. Let's not go through all of the names, but everybody really wants to see new activists, because as much as we like the support and appreciate it, and it does help us continue, especially when we're talking about monetization, we're building castles in the sand. We all know that we're facing censorship, and we might end up just being thrown out of YouTube completely. So activism is very important because it's real life, and it goes viral in ways that we might not see, but it's the reality that we all have to get back to, face to face, or at least physical copies like flyers, posting them through letterboxes. But it's they're more valuable when you actually explain them to someone. I'm sure a lot of the people have seen my flyers. I'm recommending that we all promote science, a scientific method, so that we can not have the debate and not get put into the burden of proof, of proving our model or our religious beliefs. I'm sure a lot of us do have religious beliefs, but it's better to wait until we've kind of won the audience over. We've got them thinking critically and we've got them connecting a few dots. As soon as we can relate to somebody's interest, or get them on board by, if, like Harry's done, he gets people to agree that 9/11's not right, or that, loads of things. Once you've got people that they can say, yeah, I don't trust the government, boom, you've got them on board, then maybe you can start answering the religious questions. But try and stall on that, and just keep pushing that people check for themselves, because that's really what we want. Stop believing scientists, the false prophets, because they're just preaching secondary information, and believing scientists, believing doctrine of scientists, believing stuff we see on television, or believing old scientists with degrees and have got published books and works. It's all secondary information, which is good to learn from, but when it conflicts with our primary observations, we have to start thinking critically. We've been given 6 senses, and I know it's 6, we'll not get into that now, to actually judge things for ourselves. And we need to remind people, whatever your religious belief, whatever your spiritual belief, if you really love science, you should trust your senses and apply scientific method. And there's no need to argue with me, there's no need to argue with anybody. Let's just compare results.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I see, on my next point, it's vital that we make this viral. For the survival of the human race, we need to remind people to have a survival instinct. Okay, we've all been programmed to be cool, which cool really means, I've probably said this before, delivering your message, your work under pressure, and taking care of your shit, where they've got us all thinking it's being passive and submissive. And that's the problem. We've been programmed to just allow this hierarchy to take over and manipulate our minds and manipulate our decisions and everything. I would like to remind everybody out there that we have been to war in the past for these dictators and these elites. And I'm worried that if we don't hurry up, we're going to lose this race, because there could be a World War III. We all joke about an alien invasion or something. That would be lovely. If they tried to pull off a scam like an alien invasion, that might not hurt anybody. But if we're talking about a big distraction, a big diversion where they're, eugenics, and we're talking about a world war of some kind, we need to get people out of that. Like, hey, don't fall for the propaganda, because they've done it before, they will do it again. We need to wake everybody up quick to that. Forget the shape of the earth. It's that we're being lied to. And what we can prove, why are they lying? who's lying. You know, we'll get to the theories sooner when we get everybody on the same plane, that we're being lied to about these things that we can prove, and then we can start theorizing about who, why, and that after. You know, it's really important, guys.
Yeah,
and I know you know this. I'm sorry if it sounds patronizing.
No, it's not. Roxanne says exactly the same. She says, look, stop all this in-house fighting about, you know, like, what's it, because we had like the gravity thing and that, and we thought, look, this is all nonsense, you know, like, there's people that still believe that they live on a ball, you know, like, we need to let them know of the lies first, you know, like, and bring people to the table. And once we bring people to the table, you can still all research all that yourselves. I mean, you can still do all that, but let's not fall out over things, you know, like, there's people out there, again, they think they're living on a ball, you know, like, that's paramount, that's above anything, you know, like, there's lies being told on so many different levels, you know, like, from your big farm, your chemtrails, your 5G and all that. I mean, so many different levels and all that. We just need to be telling people that they're being lied to first, you know, like, let's get people thinking about that.
Stay focused.
Let's
stay focused on the bigger picture, because we all know that they invented the term conspiracy theorists, conspiracy theories, so that it kind of labels people, puts us in a box, and it causes a negative priming that makes people not really take any notice of what we're saying, or they disregard it with disgust because they've been primed, like with the flat earth with the water falling off, or somebody that says you farted when it was probably them. Everyone will think it's you. You know, it's negative priming. So guess what, guys? They're doing it to us now. This whole shill, I'm sorry, but we're falling for it, There might be shills, or there might be people that are just getting promoted for not the best things, you know, like, I've put out some things that I could have done a bit better, and the worst of my stuff, it seems to be the most popular. I don't know if it's getting promoted or if it's just getting spammed, whatever it is. My point is this: rather than concentrating on who's a shill, why don't we just make constructive criticism and tell people how they could do better to avoid being called or doubted or, you know, disliked? We should all give constructive criticism instead of naming people, calling names, which is just destructive, divided. It's exactly what they want. We should say, I'm not going to give any names, but, you know, hey, such and such, everybody's saying this, that, and the other. Maybe you should try doing this so people don't say that. Let's help each other out, and by doing that, other people will see that there's a progress. That there's a, you know.
I think.
I'm going to spell it out. It's obvious. Let's give constructive criticism and less name calling. Because even if you're right about such and such a person, what does it gain going into their personal life? I think we should step out of everybody's personal life and judge their works.
Definitely.
Our ego.
I was just going to get to it.
Our ego wants us to. We've been initiated, indoctrinated to kind of this hierarchy where we're competing with each other. No, guys, we need to work together. We need to help each other, strengthen each other. Don't weaken each other and call each other names and stuff. It's basic common sense. We've got to see the bigger picture. Don't lose focus with all this data overload that they're giving us, and don't be part of the problem by producing content that, you know, that's just babble or something, or opinions about characters in the movement. I think everybody should try and think quality over quantity, because we know that when you search flat earth, it's all the anti-flat earth stuff that comes up. Well, if people are searching for other keywords like people's names, we don't want loads of rubbish. We need stuff that's motivating and inspirational and helping others learn and grow from it. So without trying to insult anyone, we all have to remember, forget the views, forget the subscriptions. It's more about quality than quantity. And it's serious. It's great that there's like funny memes and that there's people that have done shows to kind of mock Globers and stuff. It's great because, like I say, we all need to attack it from different angles. But I think whether we're taking a funny approach or a serious approach, we should all remember there's been wars in the past and there's been big losses of life, and we don't want to get there again. So everyone's full steam ahead, you know, but try and be constructive in whatever style you bring to this. Thank you to everybody listening that's not left already. I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. I'm just trying to share my thoughts and feelings from my point of view. I see that, you know, we've got to really be constructive, guys, and come together. I think you guys are doing the best example of that, leading by example, by doing a tour and bringing in all these European countries. I think it's brilliant that everyone's supporting you, even if it's last minute. You know, it's like, you know, everyone's here on the chat. It's great. I really do have a lot of faith, and I see that it's working, guys, because otherwise they wouldn't have censored us, you know. So don't give up, give it more, because it's that tipping point, you know.
Yeah. I do appreciate everybody in the chat and in all the other channels on your donations. As Howard says, you know, like this is for an amazing tour. You know, like this is this can reach so many people. You know, like not just Europe, around the world. You know, like if we get that media right and and reach every country, you know, like in Europe, it's going worldwide, you know, and then this time next year we'll all be able to speak a little bit easier out there on the street, and for new up and coming activists and all that, you'll look at us and think, what was your problem? It's easy, this. Everybody's a flat earther, you know, like so yeah, that's what it's all about, you know, like it will make things, it's just a domino effect, you know, like it will things will get easier and easier for people. Go on, what's your next one?
It's linked to that same, it's like I said about ego, you know.
Yeah.
There's a war going on and nobody's safe from it. It's mind control. Okay, that's why I say nobody's woke. We're waking.
We're waking.
Okay?
That's
waking
right.
up, because there's so many layers to this. We're learning stuff all the time, and we're learning from each other. So, you know, we got to be careful with these terminologies about being woke, because we can be insulting and patronizing, and we're supposed to be inspiring people to inquire and investigate for themselves, check for themselves, rather than take our word for it, or we definitely don't want them shrugging us off because we're trying to preach beliefs. So yeah, we really have to remind people it's a big mind control game that we're being lured into. We're being so distracted, as I say, we're being perverted. They're trying to normalize all these different perversions now. You know, everything's being desensitized, and it's all about repetition, because if we become tolerant when we see things enough, they don't affect us anymore.
Yes.
So we have to point out all these things that they're using against us, like hypnotism, repetition, backmasking. It's subliminals, massive frequencies, as we know with the 432 and stuff. There's lots of ways we can show people and help them join the dots that it's all a big mind game. And like Harry says, we really need to try and tell people to get rid of their television, because all these theories, all these movies, all these adverts. I mean, you've seen that Confused.com has got the flat earth just before they put Confused.com, so it's like a little subliminal mock. They've always got circus music behind The Guardian, behind Vice, behind all these different Netflix. They'll always have these little things in, and we've got to point these out to people and try and help them see that they're being brainwashed, they're being programmed. It's you know, without trying to sound religious, it's like I say, luring and tempting us to just self-indulge in things. So we always have to think about the content we're putting out, and we always have to tell people that we're talking to that this is a big game. I like to call it globe syndrome. Okay, one we won't explore because we think we'll come back to the same place, even though nobody's circumnavigated north to south. So they're hiding the land, this, that, the other. And also we feel irrelevant, insignificant, lost in space from the Big Bang. So it's all mind games, so that we kind of have a materialistic view of life, which is the donkey with the blinkers and the carrot is the material. And when there's so many more fruits and things to life that we don't know of because we're not exploring physically or spiritually, emotionally, because of this globe syndrome. So that's the mind control. And I think also when people say, what's the point? Just one word, globalization. It's all there in the words, okay? Thanks to etymology, it got me like starting to see these things a little bit. My next point was, yeah, without trying to sound religious, there are governing energies in this world, you know, and maybe the positive energy is maybe from the astral realm, the heavens above, and that's maybe to give and to be constructive. So I'm saying this to people, just remember there's some wisdom in all old scriptures, even if you're not religious or of any particular faith. They all kind of tell us, you know, like, be good, give, and the energy will renew and it will recycle. Where our ego and the materialism and a lot of the new age kind of cults, sorry guys, but they're about taking, okay? The energies that govern this land, this material realm, are telling you to take, to self-empower, to enlighten oneself. And I'm starting to see, from having been a Freemason for 3 years of my life, that enlightening others is good. Empowering your community is good. Yeah? Self-empowerment, self-love, all that stuff that's being preached. Yeah? Be your own divine God and all that. That is just taking from this experience. And anyone that tells you that, you know, it's all relative, it's all perspective, sorry, but they're probably a little bit hypnotized and they under the spell that's been cast. I'm sorry, guys, but this is all mind control. Be humble, whatever your religious beliefs. We have to save this human race by coming together and being constructive and giving a little bit more, whether it's giving knowledge, giving wisdom, like I say, giving help. Give your time to other people. And we can maybe turn this whole thing around, because the whole problem with this mind control is it's leading us to all have one vision, one opinion. They're going to even hook us up to have one consciousness. It's so that we will be manipulated, because with control, you have to manipulate. It's so that you can manipulate things. So as long as we're empowering ourselves, we're allowing others above us to empower themselves. So we're becoming the hierarchy, we're becoming the new world order that we don't want to be. So I just think, while I've got this time and there's maybe a few people listening, just remember that this is all in the scriptures, and it's been said that we are going to end up being slaves to our addictions, slaves to other people's temptations. There is hot and there is cold. We know this from scientific method. So anybody out there that's preaching that, you know, there's no such thing as good and bad, yeah, anyone that says anything like that, snap out of it. You can give to this world and help this battery, this atomic reactor, this heart, yeah, whatever Earth is, this clock, you can help it keep ticking by giving up your ego and trying to be a nice person. So as activists, that's my big message out there. Don't get sucked in by the ego programming that we've all been indoctrinated with. There's a lot of people out there that are spreading truth, but they're also muddying the waters. And I'm not going to name anybody. I'm just giving some constructive criticism. Snap out of it, guys. We've got to empower our community and stop thinking about these shortcuts, these majestic little tricks. And I, of all people, can speak about that. We've got to stop falling for the temptation to be the leader and strong of others. We've got to empower other people to be leaders. Hence why we're all on this Globe Lie idea to inspire others to do activism. We don't want to entertain people, and we don't just want the subscribers, because entertainment means to enter and hold somebody's mind. So I don't want to entertain people with my videos on my channel.
Yeah.
I want to inspire people and give people something to learn from so that they can take it and apply it in their fashion. And that's the kind of content I'm looking for. So just like the last gentleman that was on, I hope you're still listening, I took no offense when he said that he hadn't seen my channel or anything, because I haven't got that much time to be on YouTube looking at all these different channels and all this content. I'm happy when I find content I can learn from. And I do agree with promoting content, good content, more than promoting people's channels. We don't need fans. We don't need fans. We need everybody to get their instinct, the survival instinct, and everybody to lead their life and follow their sixth senses. Sorry for going on. It's just, it's deep.
Yeah. No, it's all well said. Very well said.
Thank you. I've only got two other little things. To help make this a trend, activism versus passivism. You know, as I say, we've got to stop this bullshit cool from being projected everywhere, that, you know, being cool is just not giving a shit, not trying, not getting worked up. No, activism's cool. Okay? Activism's real cool. Waking up is cool. These are the kind of things we've got to promote to people. So like I say, making it look easy. Sorry if it sounds a bit machista, but sex sells. We know that. They use it against us, yeah? So we need to tell people, like, fuck Tinder, get out there and chat up someone that attracts you physically or emotionally, someone that you might normally not be able to approach because they're cooler or they're wiser or they're more beautiful than you consider yourself. Go up to this person with some substance and tell them that you think we're being lied to and that they'd be better off knowing and having their own freedom of imagination to explore and imagine and not fall for all this shit. And you'd be surprised how grateful these people that you think are out of your league will interact with you. So not just to pick up a bird or whatever you're interested in, to make friends. It's cool. It's really cool. It's really easy, because you're not approaching somebody with nerves and you're not with all them voices. I can speak from experience having anxiety. I've never been able to approach strangers without, you know, I don't know what to say to a girl if I don't know her. Now I can approach anybody. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I'm thinking, what shall I open this conversation with? But it's easy. It's awesome, and I recommend it to everyone. It's cool. Last little ones. We've got to do it whenever we can. So, you know, if you're traveling on a bus, tell the person you're sat next to on a plane. If you get a chance, tell the pilots or talk to the pilots. Get it on video that they won't be able to answer your little questions about dipping a nose in that. Yeah. It's fun. It's really cool. It's any opportunity when people call you to sell you something. Before hanging up on them, just say, hey, check this out, check that out, and, you know, use the thermometer, blah, 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 and you'll know for yourself instead of asking them to believe you. If you've got people on the phone to help you fix something, any opportunity that you can, delivery men, always get delivery men when they're bringing you a packet, give them a flyer or just a quick chat. Get out of the echo chambers, escape the echo chambers that we're being put in. We're all getting into groups on Facebook, which is good, you know, as I say, to support. And just quickly, I think having conferences like yours that promote activism, brilliant. Even, you know, open air conferences, great. Flat earth conferences, that's a bit more secular, and that maybe is more belief system. So I'm all about recommending activism, and I'm all about getting out of the echo chambers. So online and offline, we've got to try and relate this to as many different groups with various interests. So if doesn't matter what religious group you approach, you tell them that their creator is closer than this Big Bang scientism cult is having them believe, and they will love that you've approached them. So you don't have to be the same religion as the group you approach. Approach as many groups as you can, online or offline. Spiritual people love it when you tell them that energy doesn't die, it transforms, because it's all kept and contained here. So, you know, when people pass away physically, that energy doesn't get left behind in space while that ball keeps floating on. No, it's still here. It's just getting churned around. It's you know what I mean? It's easy to relate to people when you can think of like a movement for chemtrails. Tell the people that are doing activism for chemtrails, hey, did you know that NASA are the ones telling all the governments that this is safe? They're the ones that got the cloud factory. And boom, you can start bringing people together and help inspire activism in all these different groups. I've got friends in the mud flood movement, and I'm saying to them, like, hey guys, promote what you're doing by doing a bit of activism. You know, don't just do the research, promote that other people talk about this. I put a bit of mud flood stuff on my flyers to try and, you know, join the dots and bring more interest from different areas. And yes, supporting community constructive criticism, no name calling. We've already said that one. A little advice, if anyone wants to give it a try going out there to record, you haven't got to have a video camera, you can do it all on your mobile phone. You can either have a stand like what I'm using now, if you want to be in the frame, or you can have a neck brace. It's a brilliant thing that they use. They sell them on Amazon for doing selfie phone calls and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen yours. Yeah,
is brilliant. I'd recommend everyone that's into this get a neck brace, because you can use your hands for giving out flyers and explaining, and there's no loss of landscape behind curvature, whatever. You can keep your hands free. You get a stiller frame, and it's pretty cool for like 14 quid. So there's like I say, get flyers, recommend scientific method, and my last point is, look at what they've done with climate change, and this is good to tell people as well. Look what they're doing with climate change arguments. They're confusing us. They're data overload. You've got 30,000 scientists saying that it's a crock of shit. You think that'd stop it, but no, it's just the Hegelian dialectic again. As long as there's a debate, it's going to go on. And it's not just the climate change argument that you can show to people. Sorry? Has that gone off? Yeah, sorry, I'm back. It's not just the climate change thing that's been dragged on. Look at Brexit. It's the whole point. They give it a name. I mean, now it's climate change, yeah, but before it was global warming, yeah. They just keep giving them names, and they just keep churning out more data so that we as people are arguing about these things, theorizing what it could be rather than looking at the big picture. Why is anyone talking about climate change when we should be talking about the toxins? Yeah? We say it's because of emissions, yet we're allowing NASA to advise all these governments to put more emissions in the sky, and everyone's saying, well, yeah, it's to combat that. And I'm like, fuck, man, you know, at the end of the day, we should be talking about the illnesses that are caused by the toxins that also cause maybe temperature change. Is it us? Is it not us? Let's not debate that. We know that we're adding toxins. We know that toxins are bad for us. It looks like they're causing us to debate each other over the temperature as a diversion. Yeah. What are they doing about Brexit? Sorry for swearing. I can't believe the general public don't see it. If you were coming out of the European Union, you would have come out already. It's been dragged on for this long because they just want to keep confusing you and making you worry and think, oh, maybe we've made the wrong decision, so that when there's not a majority that want to leave, they can just say, oh yeah, we're not leaving. People will accept it because they're sick of hearing about it, or they're confused with so many different opinions. What am I talking about? Don't let them do this with the flat earth debate. There shouldn't be a debate. It's a globe lie, and it's a space exploration scam. That's all we need to promote. Oh, and, you know, toxins in the air, toxins in the vaccinations, toxins in the food, just so that the farmers can grow them easier and not have to worry about, you know, insects. These are the things that we can come together and say there ain't no debate, it's common sense. We've got to expose the obvious facts and stop letting them have us debating. So I understand why some people think the first people that came out are shills. Maybe they aren't. Maybe it's just the point that they were promoting a flat earth.
Yeah.
That could be why their content got so popular, because they knew that with all the negative priming that we've had from youth, and throughout every day we'd switch on the television or Facebook's notifications, all that priming, they knew that flat earth would trigger a debate. So it's not about if they're shills, like I say, it's recommend to everybody that they don't promote so much flat earth, and they promote more globe lie, big bang lie, space exploration scam, and like I said, toxins are toxic.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I've had people try and debate me about vaccinations, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Don't you dare call me that. I'm an anti-put whatever you want in vaccinations, okay? I'm in the middle. I'm saying maybe vaccinations can be useful, but not if there's there's no need for mercury, there's no need for aluminum, there's no need for, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's no need for aborted feces of another.
Yeah.
Come on, you know? Why are we having that argument about pro-vax, anti-vax?
Yeah.
Do you see the pattern, guys? I'm not trying to be patronising. I know that a lot of you are waking up ahead of me or with me. I'm just saying this to anyone that does come across this that hasn't joined them dots already. They're using the same tactic over and over and over. So we've got to get out of that debate and ask people to check for themselves. My new little catchphrase, just to end it on that, is stop believing lies and just check with your own eyes, you know?
Yeah.
It's that's easy.
Excellent. Have you, is that all your list? Have you gone through it all?
That's more than my list. That's my motor mouth. It came in as usual.
Okay. I want to say a couple of things, guys.
Please do.
So this is just to reiterate, this is Howard George Stirrup. He to mobile stream live as well. He could do with 1,000 subs. Where are you at? About 400. So we don't kind of need, as I say, we want the subs for a purpose. You know, like our purpose is, you know, like to live stream. You know, like out there on the. So I'm not myself. I'm not interested in the subs. I don't care. I turned off the the view count. I'm just not interested in it. I don't particularly like doing this sort of thing, and we're doing this for a purpose now. You know, like I don't particularly like doing hangouts and things. You know, like I'd rather do them privately or something. That's just me. You know, like I like talking that way. But I do see the importance of. We use these like subs, you know, like that's their rules. They want 1,000 subs to live stream, so it's a tool. And of course, then if that's their policy, then we need 1,000 subs per channel. So guys, you know, like subscribe to Howard's channel. Let's get him live streaming out there on the street. You know, like he's been doing some amazing video work, and you know, if you go over and take a look at that, and it's so. I'm so jealous because he's always got nice weather. You know, so because
I'd love to be wearing the top, but it's unbearably hot at the moment.
Oh, well, I don't know if you see some of our activisms. We've been out there in in the snow and you know blizzards, and we've been out there, you know, like handing leaflets out, you know, like and you're like that. I shouldn't complain. No, definitely not.
No, but I really appreciate the opportunity to help get my opinion out, and hopefully it's been constructive to anyone that comes across this video or that's been watching.
Yeah, a lot of people will relate, to exactly what it is that you're saying. I literally just one little point I didn't resonate with. I could say I was 99% on it all, but I like the idea, and I want to separate the confusion between a convention and a conference. For me, a conference is it's stiff, it's learning something, it's different. I mean, a convention would be more of a get-together, to meet like-minded people. When I first got in this, I don't know what about you, I was so alienated by my friends and family. I thought I was going crazy, and I couldn't speak to anyone, didn't know anyone, and it was essential that I met someone. And if there had been conventions literally right at the time when I was emerging, and that I was desperate for something, to reach out to someone, and to have 200 people on your doorstep of a convention, which is a glorified campsite. That's what we're talking about. It's just to reach out with like-minded people and that. Go on, go for it.
Let me clarify. Be it convention or conference, I'm not against a Globalist convention or conference. I'm not against a truth-seeking. I'm definitely not against an activism, because that's what Globalist is.
Okay, yeah.
What I really meant was, I'm against flat earth conferences and conventions that promote, without maybe meaning to, they're promoting fandom. Okay, they're promoting fans to follow certain channels and to stay on the sofa.
Yeah, and I can see some of that.
Support this channel, support this, this model. And I'm saying, I'm all about Globalist activism, conference or convention. I'm not really supporting flat earth, because it promotes, like I say, stars, celebrities, and it encourages fans, it encourages subscribers to sit back and watch us. I don't class myself as a big YouTuber, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want people to keep us going. Like we said at the start, we want everyone out there to start making videos more. We want to see more of new videos, new activists, than we want to see subscribers. I do want subscribers because it'll make me be able to go live. It tells me that people are happy with what I'm doing and appreciate it, and it'll motivate me to keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, my main dream would be to see loads of new activists doing it better than us.
Oh yes, yes. Yes.
Like you said, they can take what we've done and build on it and make it stronger presentations, stronger arguments, make activism look even cooler. Because when you think of that ice bucket challenge that I got involved in, and millions, maybe billions of people, it became a trend.
Yeah.
That's my big point. We've got to make this trendy. Yeah. We've got to make it look so easy, so fun, so beneficial, like I say, in the social circles, that you can make friends and find the love of your life, whatever, much better in reality than this social networking.
I mean, I see that what you're doing. I mean, like, you are being serious with it, but you're having fun with it as well. I see. Yeah. So you're not kind of like I don't know, argumentative with it, and that you're coming across in a brotherly way. You're letting people know. It's great to watch you out there, and that. And we all have so many different ways of this approach, and yours is your approach is so much different than mine. It's different than Harry's. I can see a little bit of Harry's rubbed off on you a bit. I can see I see that your arguments are crafted really well. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
To actually pick up more from Harry's style, because I'm aware that anyone watching my content would be like, "Well, God, he just keeps saying the same 3 things.
Yeah.
Check the curve, check the video of the stars, check the temperature of water." It's the same thing all the time. So it must be boring watching my videos in a way, because that's
you know
all
yourself. It's they're different people.
But it works, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
if it ain't broken, why fix it? I think my main objective has been to show people how to win, or better said, how to not have an argument. I'm not asking people to believe me. I'm not debating theories. I'm asking people to check for themselves, compare results if they differ, spread the word if they don't.
And there you go. Yeah.
But I would like to start maybe doing less talking and improving maybe my questions, so that the viewer can enjoy the interviews more, and there'll be a bit more of the person I'm interviewing talking instead of me. I've had a few complaints saying, "Oh, you don't let the people talk." And
Yes,
I'm like,
I had that.
to be honest, I never started this to make interesting interviews. I never started this
That's right,
to make... I'm showing people how to kick ass.
Yeah. And you were just being you. You know, like you're not molded in anybody else's view of what you should be. You're you. You know, and but I do see that you are self-critical, and that's great. You know, like that's for you to be that, and better luck. You might get a bit of advice along the way in that, and you know, I watch as many activists as possible in that, and I pick up so many tips. You know, and I imagine that is shaping my arguments, you know, so much better. I'm
Exactly.
self-critical. I feel like that sometimes. If you were on about, if you're not in that mojo, in that bounce, in that, you know, like, oh, yeah, you come across terrible. It's just, and yet I still film myself, and I think, oh God, why have I done that?
Am I encouraging people, or am I discouraging people from doing this?
Yeah.
That's your quantity.
Yeah. No, it's good. We've had. I'm just gonna check the channels. If you the GoFundMe channel, the GoFundMe channel for the tour is set at £1,592. Paul on the Plane is set at $675 and don't forget he's going to be doubling that one. And then we've got the Globusters Globalist tour van logo. Let me just do that one, and he's at $1,115. Thank you ever so much, everybody who's been involved. We've still got an hour and 15 minutes. If anyone wants to join us, you're quite welcome. You can ask Howard a couple of questions and that. I want to know a little bit of your background, if you don't mind. You know, like, because lots of people don't know an awful lot about you, and I think that they should meet you. You know, let's meet Howard. And when did you realise? How long ago? When did you realise that you're being lied to?
It was about the time that basketball player came out saying it, which I think was 2017, or was it 2016 already?
Yeah, somewhere. That's Kyrie Irving or something, Kiwi, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't dare try to pronounce his voice.
Yeah. Okay. And
so
did you have any inkling before then about other conspiracies or anything?
Yeah, man. I was straight on that Zeitgeist stuff, even though that might have had a little few suggestive messages of its own. That woke me up to banking. I knew straight away that 9/11 was wrong, because I remember seeing one of the buildings blow up the day, it was pretty much a live broadcast or whatever, and I didn't see a plane. And then, like 10 minutes later, or 5 minutes later, it's like repeat, but there's a plane, and I was like, that's weird. And as soon as they came out of even again, it's like, as I say, they drag on the Brexit stuff, they drag on they dragged it on for that long. Oh, he's in a cave. We can't find him. And I was like, this is pantomime. It just seemed pantomime.
Right.
And I saw how the one from Israel, the one from Iraq, Saddam Hussein, he couldn't believe it in court. He's like, this is a joke. This is a farce. And I was like, that doesn't seem like the kind of behaviour you'd expect, from someone that's surely such a big criminal, like we've been told, and this, that, the other. And then the icing on the cake was when they dumped his body at sea.
Yeah, that was the ultimate of strangeness.
It's pathetic. It's like, so that they can't identify him. So yeah, I've been loving conspiracy theorists for many years, and I think what it is, when you can actually prove something with scientific observation, and it's repeatable, it's measurable, it's blatantly not a theory. And then you've got to decide, who are you? Are you just a neutral, a neutron? Or are you going to be positive, or are you going to be negative? Because if you're not doing nothing, then you're kind of part of the problem. We all need to inspire people to do something about this. Not everyone has to get up and go out onto the streets, but like I say, activism can be in many, many forms. We can keep doing online activism. I'm just recommending ways that we spread it out of the echo chambers, that we start thinking of other ways to get the message out there. But yeah, keep online, in not necessarily face to face. Like I say, you can talk to people on the phone. You can give out flyers to strangers in a different city than where you live. There's loads of ways to get the message out there. I even thought about making an account on Tinder because I'm single, but I haven't bothered doing it. But if I ever do, I will make sure every photo is a Flat Earth t-shirt. I'll make sure my bio is all about being open-minded and not believing mainstream. I want any traffic to get that message and be like, oh, shit, loads of people are saying this now. And it become trend. And also, on another note, if I was going to use a dating website, I'd want the person to know that I'm open-minded and I'm not like, a normal robotic kind of believe everything I'm programmed with, because I don't want a girl that's very closed-minded, or I don't want a girl that's against me being open-minded. So yeah, it works out well. Just putting it out there in every way you can. We've got to show a bit of confidence in this. We shouldn't be ashamed just because they're taking the mick and ridiculing us, and there's these sci-fi YouTube people that are ridiculing us. They will look stupid in the end.
Yes.
Because it's time will tell, the truth will come out, the shit will hit the fan. We ain't got nothing to worry about. We've got to show a bit more confidence and get it out there, keep getting it out there. The censorship's got to make us thrive to fight harder. We can't take this knockdown,
Yeah, definitely the censorship. That's my biggest concern. I see it happening to too many channels. I'm just trying to see if anyone out there would like to join us. Then speak up, and we'll invite you in. What I find is that there seem to be it's always the same people coming to these chats and that, and it'd be interesting to there's quite a few people in the chat that we could have some complete strangers, like that we can I'd like to meet new people, and and that's what this journey is all about as well, and to meet new people on the road, and I think that to inspire new people to new faces and that. We need new blood.
Fresh meat.
Oh God, don't say that.
Yeah.
I'm vegan.
after all these cannibalism presentations I've been watching and the Santa Clarita diet, I'm like,
oh no, yes, that's right. I watched an episode of it. It's it really is. It's vile.
It's like end days stuff, man. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the world's going easy.
Desensitizing people, like to that, and and the same with The Walking Dead and all that, and what's it? So that it's kind of I can see people
and all that, making it sexy to be a vampire. It's like, come on.
I worry for young kids, like that they could actually murder someone and think, yes, that's nothing. So what? I do it all the time on Xbox. Yeah, it is worrying. God, I mean, like in my day, it was a Atari on, like just what's it, shooting aliens, and that was all I was worried about.
Well, imagine when you can put them glasses on and actually stab somebody and feel.
Yeah.
How far is it going to go before?
Because you're programming yourself, aren't you, by doing actions like that? That is brainwashing. Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
It's like even if it doesn't make somebody necessarily go and act out that crime, it's still programming those visualizations into the subconscious, so you will suffer maybe that guilt or that thrill. And it can be addictive enough to make you want to do it in a real life, or you can maybe have depression because everything that goes up has to come down, yeah? So if you have a real good high from a drug or from a visual stimulation, well, then the real world might not be that tasty anymore, and you might suffer depression for the rest of your life because of these unnatural highs, these unbalanced chemical or visual stimulations. I just reminded me another reason why I was saying about we have to not build castles in the sand and get too concerned about subscribers and stuff is also because everything is addictive. So I've noticed myself I can spend far too long looking at my comments, looking at my views, checking if I'm getting shares, and I can spend far too long worrying about my presence on Instagram, my presence on YouTube, my presence on Facebook, that we're all taking the bait as well by caring too much about our online presence, our ego, and it comes with the territory. We all love subscribers, like you say, and it's good to help get the message out, but we also need to remember it mustn't go to our head, and we must keep as humble as possible, because we don't want to promote stardom, fandom. We want to promote everyone being empowered and everyone joining the table and bringing their contributing to this fight, this war that we have against propaganda and elites wanting to control everything. So yeah, we all have to remember to swallow our pride, our ego a little bit, and encourage other people to get on and not just to sit back and support us. As much as we love it, that's a fight that we all have inside as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm inviting Arwen. Do you know Arwen?
The name sounds familiar.
He was on earlier with me. We've had a few good chats, and here he is here. Hiya, buddy. So, Arwen, this is Howard. And Howard, this is Arwen.
Hello.
Speaking. Hiya.
Hello.
There you go.
Are we still live?
Yeah, you are. You're live. You're on my channel.
Okay.
What's it, Jason?
Thanks
the
for
Disbury
including
family
me.
Channel. So you're part of my family now.
Really? I was kind of in the middle of dinner, but hello everyone.
Hey, Arwen.
Yeah, so I first come across Arwen. Was it on? Oh God, it's just Nathan Oakley's. But I think you've been on. I think I heard you on Ranty's or on Anthony Riley's have I, or was it just Nathan's flat Earth debate?
Well, I've been a participant of the flat Earth debates for a long time, so it's probably through there. But yeah, I've been through a lot with both Ranty and and Anthony and Nathan.
Yeah, you've had a hard time on the. I have heard, but but I have to say that you have given as good as you got as well. You do stand up for yourself as well. He's no problem.
I do my best.
No video today. No video. You're not coming on.
I'm kind of sort of drunk. I'm in the middle of dinner, so it was kind of unexpected you calling me, but I'm fine addressing the public, no problem.
No problem. I'm trying to see if anybody else wants to join, and we can have a few people on to finish the last hour off. I'd say it's 7 o'clock now. We finish at 8 o'clock. It would be great to see the last hour with a few people who would like to join.
Right. Yeah. What a run it has been.
Yeah. It has, and I've been looking at myself. I've got black eyes. I don't know if you can see. I've got
a little. Yeah.
That is that's incredible. That's 24 hours not sleeping, and I've got the biggest black eyes going. I love the chemtrail shirt. Brilliant.
It's cooling down a little bit now, so
yeah, and that gets
give the viewers a little bit of visual aid.
Yeah, your T-shirt gets a few bits of conversations, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good one to promote, as I say, because NASA are behind it. Once you've got people caring about what they're breathing in, it's then easy to say, well, they're not just poisoning us; they're stealing all this money that could go to better use as well. Which I'm sure anyone that's heard me work before has heard me say that before.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. So
yeah, they make us pay for poisoning us.
Yeah, and they make us pay for all these. They steal our imagination, don't they? I say to people when they ask me, "Well, what's the truth?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm happy having my own imagination back, not this globe syndrome. I can explore realms and ideas and dimensions, and until I'm proven wrong, it's like them cats in the box, or what's behind the door. So I say to people, why are we paying for them to program us with fake sci-fi when we could have our own beautiful imagery and connect dots and probably find more truths by exploring inner space ourselves, which we don't do now because we just memorize all that data that they churn out.
Well, I would generally agree. Always start with yourself. But the funny thing is that I've taken the whole programming and the whole narrative situation with all the media layers and everything very seriously in the last few years. And one thing that I noticed, oh Christ, that's the alcohol. I lost track. That's the alcohol. Sorry. Shite. I had such a good point. I forgot. God. I hate it when it happens. Sorry.
It'll come back.
Maybe. I had quite a few beers though, so it's not you really kind of caught me off guard just calling me in like that.
Well, you shouldn't have answered.
I didn't realize it was on air.
Oh, I see. I got you. Yeah, no, just trying to see the last hour through, and as I say,
right.
If there's anyone else that wants to join us, yeah, more the merrier. You'd be quite welcome.
Yeah, well, about the whole project, I think it was pretty big success. It had this like hopping along effect. Like with every hour, it would be like, yeah, let's get on to the next hangout, and and it really worked. I think that every participant of this project has had a major increase of amount of viewers compared to normal situations because of this also, and it really got everybody just tagging along with it.
And it
was a great trip.
It was only conceived
on the
about,
internet.
It was only conceived about 5 days ago or so. You know, like so. Imagine how more effective if we had a little bit more time. You know, like that we could put something even more fantastic. And we did have an awful lot of technical problems. You know, so yeah, I mean, like I'd like, it'd be great to do this again sometime. I'm not doing the 24 hours. Somebody else can take that task on, or we can share it around a little bit.
And a little bit more notice next time.
Yes, yeah. Oh God, yeah, that's right. You know, as I say, it was conceived about 5 days ago, and like so, no one had it. Look, what was it? Jarin, he had about 2 hours notice or something. It was like, and then he went, and he stepped up to the plate and said, "Yeah, let's do it," which is
right.
fantastic.
But that just goes to show to the power we've gathered in the years, what we can now do. 2 years ago, just imagine, like, hey guys, in 5 days, just all get around and make this all like a perfect train, hangout after hangout, hour after hour. People would be like, that's probably not gonna work. Now, we all have skills, we all have our shows, we all have had our tests, and now it works. We can do this, and we have done this.
No. I'm just gonna add a few people to the call, and then if you come on, then you come on. If you don't come on, then you don't come on. But I'm just gonna go and add a few people. So let's just see who turns up. You never know.
I really like Darwin's point there. It relates to what we were saying before. You know, like we have to lead by example. And I think by us all coming together and supporting each other with this kind of 24-hour, it's showing people, you know, how it's done, and it's giving a bit of optimism to the community, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So,
like we can do this. We have skills.
Yeah. Like we say, we got to stop calling each other names, and we just got to be a bit more constructive, show a bit more love, show a bit more support, and then others will follow, I'm sure.
Right, let's have a go at that. I've just added loads of people. If you don't want to come in, just hang up. And but I've just added a load of you. So join us or don't join us. So
hey, Martin.
Here we go. Oh, Martin's joined us.
Adam.
Hiya, what's happening, brother?
Hiya, buddy.
Good to hear you shouting the mud flood out there in the world.
And
nice
we
to
have
meet you,
Adam
mate.
Leakin.
Evening, everyone. Just literally, I'm just on my way out, but I just wanted to just say a few thanks before I head out. And firstly, obviously, to you, Jason. Without this, none of it's possible. Secondly, to all the guys, mates at Iron Realm, all the other co-hosts out there, huge thanks to you. And then just to round it off, obviously, all those that have made donations and those that comments. I feel it, and I'm pretty sure all of us can feel that the positive intent that everybody's made towards this. So thank you all, and we won't let you down. We'll get that bus around and we'll spread the word. But
yeah, thank you. I heard about just thank you so much for all your help, Adam, and was it you and all of them funny contributions? Was that you? Because no. It seems like something that you would do.
Yeah, well, if I'd have thought of the joke, I might have done it. But
yeah, I think Martin, you did one, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't. Oh,
right.
Right,
I got Simon down, all right. No, I think they did it themselves. It might be Wolfie 360 though.
What? Me?
I was the anonymous one.
Right. Well, there must be some joker out there that's just using Glober names and other flat earther names for fun as they're donating. Because
I was convinced
Sean
it was
Hawkins, really, like you know.
It was
Secret
quality of
admirers.
Right, dudes, I'm going to have to hit the road because we're off for tea. Much love to everyone. Thank you all, and we'll see you on the road. Take it easy, guys.
Definitely. Cheers, Adam. Speak to you soon.
God bless.
Let's put myself back.
Cool. Jammy.
So, Martin, have you met Howard?
I have now, yeah. I've been watching for a while. Hi, Howard.
Nice one. Likewise, I've been watching a lot of your stuff. Great content.
Cool, thanks. Cool. Yeah, I'm buzzing today. Really happy. Yeah, that was good for community building. Everyone was buzzing for the last 24 hours, one place to the next. Really into that. Need more of that. Shame we got, have a good excuse to get all the people together all the time, Shame it can't be all the time.
Yeah, I think with a little bit more notice and a bit more prep work involved, we can streamline that a little bit better. And we had quite a bit of technical difficulties, but look, it's we've got about 50 minutes to go, and it's done. We did it, 24 hours. So yeah, and let's see that through. Yeah. So you don't look too drunk there, Arwen. You don't look too bad.
Thank God, but I do feel like it. So.
False. Good.
Oh, he's got
Cheers.
Yeah. Right. You know what? I might actually have one. I don't know if I have. I need to have a look. I've got to investigate.
Oh, dear.
Drink them all.
Well, at the end of the trip, why not?
No, I think I drank them all. Oh, that's such a shame. I only had 4 beers for the night, and I only remember doing 3, so I must have drank 4.
Oh well.
Jason got around last night. You were everywhere, Jason. There was many of you.
Yes, that's my twin that was helping out.
Wow.
I figured that because we didn't really have a format of what we were all going to be talking about, and I thought, well, if I help every channel out and get on there, then that helps the flow. Bit of continuity between channels, and that was what was going on.
Effort. It draws on your energy. There's so much energy involved in it. Even like an hour presentation leaves you feeling a bit weak, but energized. But doing it all night, done it myself, it leaves you just blown out by the end. It's like you've been to a festival or something,
Yeah, exactly like that. It's just one trip after another, and you just go to the next room. It was awesome. I really enjoyed these past few hours.
Yeah. So the next campfire is doing exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We find this with. I don't know if you feel the same, Howard. I kind of think that there's a bit of a PTSD thing going on or something. Like when you've done this day's activism. And your head just won't unwind. Like you're thinking about every argument, everything that you've just been talking about, and that, and it takes like an hour or two just to remove that bit what you've just done today, so that you can function correctly to do whatever it is that you want to do for the evening. And we found that me and Harry were both in shell shock every day after doing a bit of activism. We'd get back and we're just like. Waste away, it was shattering, absolutely shattering, to do that every day. And I think I'm probably a little bit more hardened because of it now, and hopefully I don't need to chill out as much now. We can do it now.
You do get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I can't all of this down at night. When you put your head down at night, it all runs through your mind. It's hard to cancel it all out and just drift off. There's so much going on. That's the best time to sort your stuff out at night, isn't it? When it's all quiet. There's always so much going on.
A lot of people don't realise how much work is involved in video editing. It's amazing that I've seen Harry and people come back from doing activism for hours, and then spend hours editing videos, and it's like, really, we should try and pace ourselves and spread it out, because like you say, you got so much going on in your head, and then you're like jumping, like you said, from one bonfire to the next, and it's like, well, now I've got to do the editing, and it's good, but it does drain you. And I recommend when you're on tour, try and do more live streaming, because you've got to recharge your batteries at night, because you've got a long race, a long game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I can edit quite well if I put my mind to it and that, but I hate it. I hate it with a vengeance. You know, like the very thought that I can just get me phone, live stream, and it's done. I can walk away and it's I just move on to the next live stream. It's so much better. I bring on live streams. Get rid of this editing. Yeah.
Editing makes us all OCD, doesn't it? It brings out the obsessive compulsive in us.
Yeah, because I mean, like when I do them,
you get seduced by the idea that you can achieve perfection all of a sudden.
Yes.
Instead of just being natural.
Yeah.
Which is live stream.
What I don't like about the editing is the bits that you cut away. That is because it's too long. And so people don't get it. Whereas if it's just live stream, it's too long anyway, so who cares? But like when you're editing and you're trying to bring it down to like an hour and a half and that, and you got 3 or 4 hours worth of material there, it's like, well, what do you throw away? I cringe over it. I hate the editing process.
I go and edit and I post a lot. It's 2.5 hours. It's 2.5 hours. So I can't be dealing with editing.
Hardware problems.
Yeah. You edit it.
Stuff doesn't render.
Oh god. I barely edited anything. I just did one silly catspiracy video, but that was a lot of bother. I worked like 2 days on it and just constantly re-rendering and all that. God. So I can't imagine people doing that every day and then no, it's not me. I'll stick to live streaming. Works for me.
Yeah. Well, again, for anyone in the chat and that, we need to get Howard over to mobile live stream, and he needs some more subscribers. So please subscribe. And if there's not enough of you, please share this film. Of me asking, to subscribe to Howard's channel. We need these. Subscribers. I don't know if you realise what I did, because I needed some subscribers for the Globalist channel, and I sent out a messenger message to and it just shows you being blocked. I think I've got about 3,000 or 4,000 flat Earth colleagues, friends, I on Facebook and that, and I sent a message out to every person, I still only got up to about 400. It's hard work, when you may be shadow banned or it's not organic and that, for my channel, it was dead easy. I started my channel off and I did my first few videos and I got over 120,000 views, just on one of my first sort of videos. No shadow ban in there, but I noticed it. There was a cut off, and not one person subscribed. It was just like they put a chop to it, and that was it. It was done. Right. But I had all my subscribers enough to do my mobile streams and that.
No, Facebook is officially hostile to Flat Earth. And even politics and everything, they wrote it out in their own policy. So it's not surprising that they would just stifle it and make it not connect properly and all that. Yeah, that's going on right now. That's happening in Facebook world. It's just totally disintegrating. Yeah. I don't get it.
Just letting you know, I'm still here. I'm just off camera for a moment, but I'm still here. It's like I've got the whole family turning up all at once, and that.
There we are. Sub to Howard. Cool.
still busy?
Yeah, I've got about 45 minutes to go.
To our advantage, instead of seeing as the glass is half empty, let's say, okay, now we've got to promote activism like never before. Because nobody can disagree now, you know, it's like, it's the only place that we've got, you know, they can't censor us on the street yet, so we've got to take advantage of it while the race is still on.
I'm thinking along the same lines, man. You know, this social media is getting, you know, it's pathetic, really. We can't say what we want, you know, we're getting, you know, and nearly every video, you know, they just attack me for, you know, it's either, you know, got blocked somewhere, or there's always an issue. So I'm thinking, I'm not really, you know, calling anything out much, except history. But, you know, they feel need to every video. So it's just crazy. They just can't say what you want. I've tried all these other formats, which they're directing us to. I feel it's just all the same part of the dialectic. And
yeah, you mentioned that, like the bit shots and stuff.
Bishop, all of it, you know, Restream, all the rest, Twitch, all the rest. It's just, it's them directing us, and I'm really suspicious of that.
Right. But yeah, they love to redirect you video by video into a pure attack zone where it's just
crowd is going that way. You'll always find me going that way. I'm not going to go with a crowd ever. Yeah. So this is what's going on. So I'm thinking that this is what they're thinking. See, because, you know, Globalist, you know, this millions of people maybe, you know, every car that passes this vehicle on all of them 15,000 miles of road, it's going to see this. And then all the cities, and then all the people in the city. You know, that's potentially a lot of people. And all the people who already know. You know, you'd be surprised, man. There's people in the streets know now, it's common conversation. You know, I was in my city centre the other day, and this homeless person came up on the one for money, but you know, I haven't got a problem with that because my city is really in a bad way with it, you know, and they're just forced there. So I just thought he didn't look like an alcoholic and he didn't look like a drug addict. He wasn't. Okay, he was really unfortunate. You know, he loved his dog and he wouldn't give him a house a flat because of it, basically. And I said, have you heard about the flat Earth? And he went, oh my God, yeah. He said, I've heard about 10 people in the last couple of weeks, like just on the street here. I'm like, what? Amongst the homeless? That's buzzword. Yeah, man.
Hearing about flat Earth in the actual streets?
Yeah, man. And I was in a town up in north of England a couple of weeks ago, and it was two 17-year-olds outside of a sixth form college. I was with a friend, we walked past, right, and they said, like, you heard about a flat Earth? I said, yeah, man, they taught us about it in there. It's like, sorry, can you say that again? Said, yeah, they taught us about that in that college. And I was like, wow. So you think it's flat? Well, they told us it was. So, you know, it's just some curriculum, some like independent colleges, and you know, they'll not have the curriculum, and they'll just, you've got a groovy teacher. You know, I got a cousin contact me, he said, Matt, they're showing your videos in my school, in a high school in Cardiff.
A good teacher and no gatekeeper there to keep.
She's a good teacher, man. Awesome. I'd like to meet her, but she's playing my videos in front of her classes and stuff. You know, this is like the real history and stuff. You know, so if they're brave enough to not mess, you know, with them lot, you know, and they just step out, which a lot of people are now doing. They're seeing all of these people, see us out, and all of these good people stepping out, you know, speaking their minds, you know, standing up, being strong, showing people the way, being sovereign. And it's a light to people. They think to themselves, you know, I've had this many times, you guys have as well, I know, you know, well, if they can do it, I'm going to do it. And it's just a beautiful thing, you know, instead of just sitting on your ass, letting everyone sitting on their laurels when there's actually no time to be sitting on our laurels. People haven't worked it out yet and the penny haven't dropped. You know, they're so doomed. They need to, you know, get back with the creator.
Well, you're so right. It's pretty amazing to see just new people bump into you and then suddenly start developing and really researching it all over again.
Right.
After you've been through it for such a long time, and it just keeps on happening, and all these new people they suddenly got all this fresh input out of nowhere. It's pretty amazing that every person that wakes up always tends to bring something new to the floor.
Way consciousness works, though, Arwin. You're aware of this, you know, and you know, if you just go out there with your positive intent and you're spreading the love and you're spreading the truth, people, like, even if they're in, like, you know, a really down situation, they'll see it. They'll see, give me a bit of that. And, you know, I've seen it this summer, you know, like a little spark will go on, light in their eyes, and they're like, tell me, let me know. I want to know, you know. People have already worked out when they're on the bottom of the establishment that they can't trust the establishment and the hand that feeds them. They know this. So then people are more likely to, you know, be awake than most people who are just marching to work every day, the mortgage, you know, hating their family, miserable as hell, die an early death of the cancer or whatever because of the horrible life the drugs are completely in all of that. You know? So,
Yeah, how did they get stuck in that situation? They're always wondering.
So it is complete, and they got the whole system. It's just not difficult. We're in the television generation now. You know, as soon as they got their televisions in the houses in 1950s after the radio, it was easy because they knew everyone is in their sitting room. They're going to be sat there, being programmed. This is the establishment. This is the way we are. This is the way we think. This is the way we live. And do you know what? People reflected that. You know, the times people have acted like personalities on television in front of me is ridiculous. I'm so and so, you know, and it's like, really? You know, because it creates a parallel reality, this television. And, you know, when you go down in the house and now this, everything is completely changed. People have got free range on consciousness and other people's consciousnesses. And, you know, you get energy vampires, narcissistic types, everyone leeching on the internet. It's not a good place to play, not really. Not for good people, you know, not if you're empath.
Well, they've always been there, you know, hiding in the shadows, having their little input unseen. It's just now that we're finally starting to figure out that they have always been there.
Good luck to that then, because they got no chance, man. Flat earthers are just a tour de force, man. These people are just like, you know, jello, basically. No, man.
Source of entertainment. Every source of entertainment, it's like it's in the word, isn't it? It's
they always have to have their little fingers into it. They just can't help it. They can't stay out of it.
But they know our weakness. We can't help but idolize. So they tempt us with porn. So we stay at home and masturbate rather than go out and meet girls in the real world. They tempt us with sports and you know, whether it's fighting or football or whatever. So instead of us going out there and kicking
balls,
enjoying it ourselves, we're watching other people enjoy the sport and they're getting paid for it. And I go past the bar in Benidorm, I see bar after bar, there's big screens, and you just see everybody's eyes are just looking at the screen, and no one's talking to each other. So no one's being social when they're out. No one's really social when they're being antisocial on social networking, because it's all about the likes and self. Ooh, how much attention have I got? It's
elbowing to get ahead. It's all about that.
Being politically correct. You know, giving.
I'm not too good at that.
Please, but that thing is just gonna die really quickly because nobody wants that by now. Nobody. Everybody's so sick of political correctness. It's just nowhere left to go where anybody wants it.
I hope you're right there, because it's like addictive, isn't it? Because we all want likes, we have to be politically correct, because if we say something that might offend someone, we might get dislikes, we might get nasty comments, we might lose subscribers. So we've all gone right into the trap. We've all taken the bait, and the whole society is fixated on having this online presence.
Yeah.
More than actually having a real presence where you live and in the family and the friends that you really are living around. We've put much more status on the online avatar than the real person, and it's a shame, but we all taken a little bit of this, and we've all got.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I used to have a family once. And we all met every now and then, and now it's just like, wow, that's years ago. They all just went and did their own thing.
And if people do meet up together, you see them around restaurants, every table's looking down at their phone. People aren't even talking to the company, they're talking or leaving statuses. It's a shame, but yeah, the world's in a bad way, and I'm hoping that, like you say, people are waking up to all these different things, and if we can all help join the dots, like, you know, Martin's done, you know, putting the flat earth with the mud flood, relate everything, show people how we're being lied to about politics, banking, climate change, everything. Just try and draw in common interests and show people how if it affects us, it's important and it should help relate to wake you up to something else.
Yes, totally agree to that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. It will happen anyway. People are waking up.
It is happening. We're doing it right now, and we're not the only ones.
But let's be honest.
There's more hangouts like this with groups that are thinking the exact same thing and doing it their own way. And we've probably never even heard of these people, and they've never even heard of us. But they've been out there for years, eluding us thanks to the Google algorithm. We never even heard of them.
But we have to remember we're against artificial intelligence. We're against virtual reality. You know, so they keep bringing out bigger televisions with brighter screens with faster flashes per second. We've got to fight against us. We're fighting against mind control. We're fighting against distraction, diversion, deflection with humor. You know, we've got to know
sensory overload.
Yeah,
that one especially, because the more everything amps up technology-wise, the more sensory overload becomes in reach, and they're just out there waiting for that to happen in order to tell you exactly what you need to do right when that happens.
Do you guys know Truth Stream Media? They dropped a really good film explaining how our attention span is getting so short because we're getting so intrigued with all these new, you know, all these likes, all these comments. We're so used to being entertained. We're so used to being excited that we can't stand being bored. So it causes us to have a short attention span. Now, this is a big problem because I just had a genius eureka moment about a week ago because I recorded a scene where there was a fight between some scam artists, they're called the P-Men, and some British tourists that were sticking up for the general public. You know, they're like, we saw you ripping off little old ladies last time we were here, we're not having this anymore. And they started battering the shit out of these British tourists, the scam artists.
Wow.
So I managed to get a bit on camera before approaching them and stopping them from killing the guys. I had to help separate the guys because people were just stood around watching. I was like, what the fuck's going on with society? You know, no one else is helping stop it. So long story short,
people are not involved because they have retracted themselves so far from being involved. Everybody's like retracting to the spectator position, while that originally is not really a natural position to be in for a citizen of a society. A citizen of a society traditionally participates, and we've been conditioned to just spectate.
Yeah, we need we need a savior. We've been programmed in so many ways to think that we need to be saved by a police force, by a superhero, or by you know, be it the Son of God. I think we've been given 6 senses and the free will to actually value things and judge things and like you say, stand up for what we believe in and what we feel is right and fight for truth and fight for freedom. My point was, I've made this video where I've got these guys fighting, and then I've started putting activism about, you know, hey, we're being lied to, and, you know, these scams of space exploration and this, that. From the 1 hour video, people, the general public, I've managed to put it on Facebook and get, I think there's now on 75 or 80,000 views in just 2 or 3 days. That's my best ever video. But guess what? Out of the 80,000 views, there's only been about 5 people that have said, hey, you're talking about flat earth or this, that, you're geoengineering. Out of all the comments, out of all the views, that tells me that most people have just watched the first 1 or 2 minutes, and then before I go into the interviews, they've already turned off the video. And I'm like, wow, even when I try and sneak my way under the door through the algorithms and I make it about fighting and I get all them views, I still didn't manage to get the message across because people's attention span ain't what it used to be. So,
or they are self-deterring themselves through like a politicized approach, like, oh, this is somebody that believes in flat Earth, so I can't take anything they say seriously and immediately eject, because there are like people just neurotically doing that. It's crazy.
Maybe. But with this detachment of people, I seen the same thing like about 2 weeks ago. I was in town, my local town, Cardiff. And there's, like, as I said, there's homeless people everywhere. But there was this guy, and he appeared to be dead in the street. I'm talking about the main city street, cameras everywhere. This street is really highly cameraed. So I thought, like, everyone's walking past him, like, you know, maybe I should just do something about it. Not really bad. So I went up and I gave him a little kick to see if he was alive, like. And he told me where to go. So I was like, yeah, I'm only helping, look, guys. I don't need you. Tell me where to go. So I left him to it. But when I went back to where I was, there was another couple that went over and they rang the ambulance. But they really didn't want to know either. But this guy was sensible enough to lay in recovery position, but was just lying unconscious in the street. No, everyone's stepping over him. It's just nuts. Not even caring, like, you know, as another person. Dear. What happened to us all? I'll never know.
Weird.
Yeah, I won't do it. Like, I would have been the same with them muggers. I had been over there. Said something.
I think it's the mind control, guys. I think in our nature, you know, as children, we see something happen unfair in a playground and we'll stick up for people. You know, but we've been brainwashed to believe that cool is being submissive and passive. And so many movies, so many TV stars, you know, where they're just cool, they don't care. And even the hip-hop music I used to listen to, where you pass your girl around, and it's all there, all the programming, all the time, to just not care, to not fight for what you believe in, because that would make you a squat in school, or that would make you a radical or fanatic in a religion. You know, so it's like we're constantly being programmed to not care, to not try, to not stand up for yourself, or to not stand for anything. Because
it's a difficult one.
Something, you're not cool.
Well, it's a difficult one because it depends really on the angle to it, because at the same time it's also being overstimulated. You have to understand, like, overstimulate. Oh, defend yourself from a certain specific angle and keep on doing it, and don't really look at the situation, what's going on. No, you just have to look at your tag, and if you got the right tag, then you do that thing. So it is kind of risky that things have just become so, like, roboticized. It's not allowed to be a natural flowing anymore. It's just constant, like, minuscule attempts at abuse to just control whatever is thought, whatever is felt. That's the ridiculous part, really, is that they're so manipulative in your face and all the time. It's become really bad.
You've just hit the nail on the head there. I think what it is, things that really matter, we're told to not care about. Yet we're being programmed to obsess and defend our feelings, our human rights, our perversions, and all of these choices. And we're being told that we should be able to enforce our choices onto other people for them to accept them. You know what I'm getting at.
Freedom, no matter the cost.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Freedom, no matter the cost.
Yeah, it's cool to fight for your desire, for do as thou wilt. That's cool. But don't fight for other people. Don't stand up for anyone else. Don't stand up for a cause unless it's yours. That I think is what they're programming us with. That we should only fight for our emotion and our temptation, desires. It's uncool to stand up for anything that isn't self-gratifying or self-empowering.
Like political segregation, it's like either you are with us or you are against us. It's so ironic that simpleton of an American politician with that one saying hits such a hard snare for everything that would follow up, the total polarization of this just this insane, inhuman politicization that's just rolling on and on and on, getting worse, getting more extreme, almost like competing for who can be the most on their side.
Yeah.
Politically.
Sounds horrible. Sounds a horrible existence. I thought we were years.
It is, but it will burst eventually. It's just eventually they're all already losing their minds in their attempts to be on the forefront. They're losing their minds.
It's accelerating, and them losing their cool is accelerating. You know, they can see that their comfort blanket is just being interfered with. We're pulling that comfort blanket away. We're exposing the harsh, cold truth of reality. And then they know it. They can sense it. Consciousness is there. It's doing it to them. And they're fighting it. You know, they got no choice.
And as they're fighting it, they are just trashed. Because, that's the thing. If you're going against what's supposed to be, that's when you get the real punishment.
Yes. What they've done to us.
That's when you get the real burdens on the mind and you just lose it. And that's what you see with these nasty, nasty politicians. At first they seem all like, oh yeah, I got it all under control. And then suddenly they're in their moment when they're supposed to actually do their things. And they just lose it. They go demented. Literally on the spot. It's like, I need some water. It's incredible how that works. I'm really astonished by all the everything I've seen in the last few years, just how this goes.
I think the problem with politics and politically correct and all this labeling is what they're doing is it's always the Hegelian dialectic that they're causing division by having us argue with each other over little details rather than like you see, instead of looking at the bigger picture and saying, like I say about climate change, who cares about the change of temperature? We should care about the extra toxins that we're breathing in.
Exactly, the poison. It's not about the temperature, it's the poison.
Not the temperature, but like always, they've got us arguing over little details that are really irrelevant. And also, is it us or is it not us? Who fucking cares about if it's us or not? Can we do anything to help it? That should be the argument. Who cares about the temperature? It's the toxins. So it's like everything. They've got us always fighting each other over insignificant details. And sadly, that's happening in the truth movements everywhere. I see. Like I say, it's
they're trying it. They try it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's now pretty much. Look, it's been like 20 years, and there's just been a lot of people that have just chosen their path in their own ground, and they may not know about flat Earth or anything about that, but they've just chosen to follow their path very carefully, and that's been going on for a while. And every person, as they go their own path, they learn things and they wisen up. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
And we're getting at this kind of critical momentum where every conspiracy theorist, every person that has some doubts, everything culminates. Everything is coming together to this point where we realize, this is all of us. I can feel it coming.
Yeah, you can see it. I think Martin said as well, he's noticing more people in downtown talking about it and saying that they've heard people talking about it. I think it's like we've all been under a spell of hypnotism, and now once you see somebody that's not hypnotized anymore, you can snap out of it, and like you say, it's a domino effect. It's got to become the new cool to be waking up. You know, right. I don't want to say woke. I want to say waking up has got to be the new cool.
But it's also it's also the separations between the different groups that are now falling. That they're realizing, yes, we focus on different grounds, but we're kind of in the same thing. We're going in the same directions. We are really all part of this giant awakening. And it's happening, and it's palpable. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Taste it.
The arguments are coming to an end I've had a few people that are really into the Anunnaki and different alien things, and I managed to break the ice and say, look, guys, I'm not saying that you're wrong about aliens. I'm just saying that they're not where you think they are. We're actually, there's a probability that we could actually visit them, or that they could visit us a lot easier than what we've been told. And, you know, and once you kind of start meeting people in the middle ground and saying, look, I don't have all the answers. Maybe some of your information's right. Let's not argue about the space thing, because we can prove that isn't true with, you know, the camera on the star, the moonlight being cold, and the star's not changing in 10,000 years. Let's talk
second law of thermodynamics, maybe.
Yeah, let's talk about where aliens might be, or let's talk about, you know, if it was this model, maybe alien, you know, let's come together and try and learn instead of debating and just calling each other names. And yeah, like you say, it's happening. Every conversation that we have with people, especially when broadcast or in comments, it's that other people read and watch these things, and then they can use that argument in their own experience and interactions. So yeah, I think come together.
Indeed.
Only one of us here anyway. We need to heal the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
This is it. We can't be passive. We can't be neutral, because it's just going to add to the scale. And you know, if we don't do this now, then it's going to be an end of a world of some kind, isn't it? You know, it's not going to be a world that I'd want to live in, the way things are going, if we don't rebel and snap people out of this hypnotic trance for this one vision. You know, this. Let's all be guided and hook ourselves up so that we can all be one conscious. I mean, what the heck's happening?
Yeah, that's just a crazy transhumanist fantasy. But I think that at this point, it's really, look, heaven is at the doorstep. Anyone can basically go there. It's up to you if you allow yourself to awaken to what's really going on. And if you don't, then you don't. Then you are miserable in your little corner and your old beliefs. It's up to you. But it's happening whatever you choose. If you're going to go there and learn about it all, or if you're just going to hold on to the old paradigms of the past, it's up to each individual. And it's just an amazing period now. This decade.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Precognitive
and it's almost at an end, by the way, so
they're coming in bouncing, I've noticed. Have you had any of them, Arwin? Precognitive dreams, as in seeing the next day in your dreams and it happening very much exactly like the same way the next day.
No, never like that. I've never had dreams like that, but
you
know, my visions and everything, but that was years ago.
I will see sometimes is important the night before, or I have got twice, maybe in about a month period, which is quite alarming, really, because I was like, you know, just completely blown away. I go away by myself, be shaky, have a sit down, because I just knew that I'd seen all of this last night or 4 or 5 this morning. I was just like blown away by it, and it's happened twice in a very narrow period.
Nice.
Well, not really.
No,
it can be impactful, but still like pretty glorious, you know, in a way.
Bit freaky.
Freaky, glorious. It's a matter of interpretation.
What do you guys think about a possible World War III if we don't hurry this up?
No. Technically, World War III is the Cold War, so that's in the past. This is World War IV. It's already going on. It's been going on for almost half a decade. It is mostly the trade war. It is a hacker war. It is eventually probably going to turn out to be a weather manipulation war. Yeah, it's going to get pretty crazy, I think, at the end.
Crazy
and that's it. It's like a prolonged period of almost like a roller coaster in which the world is going to go through. That's the Fourth World War, in my opinion.
I think it's just like, you know, perpetually got to go on pretending wars.
Yeah,
We'll only ever see the media version, you know. All these wars
Right. Yeah.
in the window, so was the birds tweeting. I've never seen any of it.
But there's a lot of geopolitical chess going on, speed chess, you know, like pretty heavy moves in very short time span. So, and that's all. It's all part of it.
I mean, you've only got to see how they're trying to weaken the next generations with vaccinations. They're making everybody. I'm pretty sure that when you're full of toxins, you have toxic thoughts. So, or maybe just numb. It probably numbs a lot of senses. So people will just be submissive. The next generation won't care about the truth if we don't hurry. And also,
vaccines are technically known to damage your immune system. They weaken.
It's like not only are they weakening us physically, mentally. Look what they're doing to the youth now. They're causing identity disorder.
Oh God!
On a mass scale, identity disorder.
You can be any gender you want.
What are they going to stand up for?
Right, guys, guys, I'm going to start halting you all there now. It's been a great chat. I'm going to start wrapping it up. I want to just shout out to a few people. So awesome, brilliant chat. Shut up, all of you. Sorry.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, man.
Right, guys.
It was great to be with Martin here too. It was good to see you.
Yeah, I'd do it again. I've been for ages.
This is.
Please let's do this again.
Yeah. Okay. Give us a sec. Let me. Shout out the tally and count out and that. So the Globalist Tour has raised 1,592. That'd be awesome if someone makes it up to 2,000. Nice. That's a big shout. And then we've got Paul on the plane. His so far has raised channel has raised $675. They'll double that, and so he's done really well. Well done, Paul. And then Globusters up to 1,120. I've just done a quick refresh. What is it all about? Why are we doing this? What's the next biggest thing that we can do? And we've been saying it over and over and over. It's awareness. It's awareness. There's people out there. They think they're living on a ball. We've got lots of things to understand within flat Earth and that, but not nearly as important as just telling people that they're not living on a ball. You know, that's where we need to be focusing everything. This tour is about connecting to Europe, the whole of the UK as well, connecting to Europe, sending this bus around 39 countries, 64 destinations, over 14,000 miles. It requires such an amount of diesel. I think it's like £4,500 worth of diesel needed to send this around. That's such a journey. We're not even close to how much that we need to finish this, but you've definitely got us into Europe. That motorhome is definitely going into Europe, so that's going to happen. We just need to see it. We need to see it through the rest of it now. We need to bring my motorhome back. That's going to be my plea. But I'm so chuffed for all of those who have donated. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Excuse me, Alexa, shut up. Has she done it? Yeah. So no, thank you very much. I just looking at some of the donations here. Absolutely amazing. There's been some funny ones as well. What else? Let me have a quick peek. Who have we had on? Let me just say a quick thank you. We've had Roxanne and Dolly who came on first. Martin, how do you pronounce your second surname?
Litka. Yeah. You got it.
Right. Sorry, because I mean, for a long time now, I've been dying to know, and I think I've been telling everyone that it's Ladike. And I thought, I don't know why I was saying that. Sorry.
You just have to hear it
now. Yeah, so we've had Martin on. We've had Iron Rail Media and the whole gang of Iron Rail Media. That was fantastic. Glowbusters with Bob and Jaron, and oh god, we had Cammy on there, and was it Travis? Was it? Yeah. Or was it Josh? It was Travis, I think it was.
The plain truth.
We've had we've had, as I say, Jaron and Bob again, and Karen B and Mark Sargent. Thank you very much, especially with Jaron. Sorry, I mean, like, again, he only had a few hours notice, and he stepped up to the plate and did his stream. I really do appreciate that. We had authentic content. That was fantastic. Well done. A few technical problems. Hey, I think a lot of us had technical problems, along these 24 hours. Paul on the plane. I jumped in there with Paul on the plane. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was really good. Along with Rodrigo Ferrari Nunes. That's another mouthful of a name. But yeah, it was. He's a pretty intelligent guy. Him, I find him quite interesting. Robin from Liftin The Lid had a terrible time with his internet and his streams and that, and it's a shame because he had such great information, some great videos and clips there and that, and it was a shame. But he mustered through. He battled through it to the very end. So well done, Robin. So we had Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole with Dave Weiss. He did a drone, and we had a bit of chat with David. Thank you very much, David. That was brilliant. The Plain Truth. I've not met him before, so that was. I enjoyed what's it going on there. That was an interesting chat. Enjoyed The Plain Truth. Arwen. Yeah. I mean, I first time I talked to you was the other day.
It was a great time.
We seemed
it
to
was
have
great
connected,
having you on.
like that was. We had a good chat the other day, and we had a good chat. Was it this morning? Was it after? It was.
Yeah, it was this morning. It's not even 8 hours ago.
Yeah, something like that. But and then we had Ranty Flat Earth. It's all his fault. Why you're all here for this 24 hours? That's the man, Ranty. You blame him. It was all his fault. And then we've had Dave and Roxanne. Allegedly Dave from David Moore, David Murphy. I still haven't asked him. I probably have. I keep forgetting. Sorry, Dave. Dave. Gary.
Dave Murphy.
Diddy couldn't make it. She's not well. So she did. I did speak to her. She sounded very poorly. But Gary, you met Gary before. He had a few things to do. And then Howard George Stirrup. I did read something else. So you had another part of your name on your Skype. What was it? What did it say? Howard George.
Geocentric.
Is that what it was? Geocentric Stirrup. Very good. And then myself. I'm Jason of the Disbury family. Thank you very much for all of you to be with us here. It's been fantastic. We need to do this a bit more streamlined. I'm sure we'll get better at it. We don't need to do this too often. This is tiring. I think I need to pick up the gauntlet
every day.
I need to pick up this gauntlet and then pass it on to somebody else to do 24 hours.
I loved it, every part of it.
It's been great.
Yeah, to do it every day would be a bit overkill.
Yeah, I didn't make it for the whole 24 hours. I crashed out and I had 20 minutes sleep.
How dare you?
Yeah, it took it, and that was. I'm sorry, that was all Robin's fault. That was because he had a problem with his live stream, so it just got a little bit boring in a couple of places because you couldn't see the stream, and I fell asleep. So Robin's fault. We've kind of done it. It's nearly 24 hours. I'm gonna play the last video, which is 4 minutes long. Just to see us over the edge. If you guys want to say goodbye, best time to do it now.
All right. Good night, everyone. It was a great 24-hour stream for the Globalist Tour-A-Thon.
Tour-A-Thon, yes.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well done to you guys for doing the 24 hours, and awesome to everybody supporting Globalist.
Yeah, thank you very much, and for all of you guys that are still in the chat. Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. It's been amazing. Yeah, I love every one of you. You know, like, it's been fantastic. We seem to be hit with a lot of trolls tonight as well. So I can see all the mods are battling with all the trolls that we've had tonight. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Let's not do it too soon this again, you know, like, and let's get better at it. So there you go, guys. I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I'm going to finish with this of all the countries and places that we're going to be going to. So yeah, thank you very much. Cheers all. Bye.
Yay. Shout out.
Too many days where I'll never give up a fight. I see you broken and weak, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, darling. You were meant to survive. With every step